Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today is March 9th, 2021, and today's podcast is about hunting the great state of Michigan. Welcome back to the Fall Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Blasey, and today is episode 150. Now, today's episode is going to be a little different. Now, today's episode, I have three guys on with me, Nick Cohealy, Tyler Bentley, and Matt Taggett from the Rise Hunt. These guys are super nice dudes, become pretty good friends with these guys, and I recently went down to Tyler's house. We watched the Badlands Film Festival, and we decided to record a podcast after the film festival. So we get into it. I do want a little precursor. We were drinking some beers, so you might hear a word slurred here and there, but it's all in good fun. It was later at night, but I did throw it on social media that day. I wanted to know from people that hunt Michigan what they would change about Michigan, what they wanted to see different, what they liked, and what they disliked. So we cover a lot of responses that we got from that message that I put out there on social media, and we put our take on it as well. We're all Michigan guys. We grew up in Michigan. We've hunted Michigan our whole life. So I guess you might say we bash Michigan a little bit, but we also love Michigan. It's kind of a love-hate thing. It just depends on, your opinion on it, I guess. It's you'll hear in this episode what we like and dislike about it, and we're pretty passionate about it. So it's a good episode. We cover a lot, but a lot of it was repetitive. A lot on social media was repetitive about what what people wanted to change. 1 buck rule, gun season not be 25 days, so yada yada. But there are some things in here we get into the weeds on, so it's pretty cool. But it's a different one. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to this interview with these guys. We had a lot of fun doing it, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. We're hot, fellas. We are in the Rise Hunt studio today. We are recording a podcast, and we just watched the Badlands Film Festival 2021, and I wasn't that impressed. I'm sorry. No. You guys invited me down here for the first Badlands Film Festival. I've never seen one before. I mean, there was some good content, but maybe I'm just more of a nitpicker than really I need to be.
Yeah, you can't be a TV producer and watch a Badlands Film Festival. You sounded like a bunch of critics sitting behind me like, oh no.
Exactly. No, but we're down here at the Rise Hunt headquarters, HQ, down at Tyler Bentley. So I'm going to introduce everybody here. I've had every one of these guys on the podcast. So around the room, we're going to go here. We got Nick Cohealy. Nick, say hi.
Hello.
Nick, I've had him on the podcast actually recently. We talked about the little deer that you just killed in Ohio.
Yeah, probably a 2-year-old. But
Tyler Bentley.
Yo, what's
We're
up?
at his place. Tyler, thank you for accommodating all of us and letting us come down here.
Hey, no problem, man.
And honestly, Tyler's been inspiration behind the Fall Podcast of logos and feel and look. So everybody, when you see designs from here on out, it's a lot of Tyler's inspiration. He's really good at what he does, and I can't thank him enough. And last but certainly not least, Matt Taggett.
Good morning.
What's up, buddy?
yeah,
It is morning.
Morning time.
It is morning. Matt Taggett, you own Rec Broadheads, and you've been on a couple times.
Yeah, I've been on a couple times with you. I think twice now.
Twice, yep.
Twice, yeah.
Yep. Kills giants. His dad killed a giant this year in Iowa.
He did. It was a good time. It was a real good time.
pure luck, tripped into it.
Hey, sometimes that happens.
Tripped into a 190. No big deal.
You'll have that.
Yeah, you'll have that in those big jabs. But I figured, I threw out on social media, which I think you guys might have saw. I threw out on social media something about, everybody out there just asking, if you're a Michigan hunter, what would you change, and what do you like or dislike about Michigan hunting? And I figured, you know what, I'm coming down here. What better to have 4 Michiganders, trolls, if you will, because we're in the Lower Peninsula, talk about Michigan. And now we've had a couple beers in all of us, so we can, we're speaking the truth here. So
Yeah. I was gonna say,
No hold back.
There's gonna be a lot of shit talking going on right now.
there might be, but I guess the first thing I wanna get out there is I wanna go around the room here. We've been here, we've hunted our whole lives here. I want to go around the room and I want to get your honest opinion, one at a time. What do you think about Michigan hunting? So Nick, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, you're
In one word, if you had to describe Michigan hunting, give me in one word. What is it?
I don't think
Put
I
you
do it
right
in
on the
one
spot.
word.
You guys start thinking.
One word. That's a tough one. You can at least give me like 3 words.
Nope.
But,
Well, if you want 3 words, I'll give you 3 words.
Yeah, we'll go with 3 words.
Piece of shit.
No. Okay, I need 2 words. Rule change.
Rule change. Okay. Tyler, what do you got?
Sad.
Sad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with sad.
Okay. Matt.
Is it so? How many words are we at here now?
Anywhere from 1 to 3.
One to
It's just
three.
not good.
1 to 3. Not good. So 2. So you got 3 words, Nick.
I already did 2. So
What was it?
rule change.
Rule change.
Oh.
I gotcha. I thought you were talking about
Yeah,
how
I
many
didn't know you-
words.
No,
Wow.
Confusing.
couple beers,
And if I had to say anything, I would probably say disappointing.
Yeah.
I'd have to say.
So far.
But
That's
with saying
harsh.
that, though, I really enjoy hunting Michigan. So I don't know if I can, and we've talked about it tonight. We've discussed this over many barley pops or oat sodas, whatever you want to call them. We've talked about it, and we've talked about how our experiences with Michigan out of state. We've all hunted out of state, killed great bucks out of state, all of us, and in state, and how it just differs. And I don't know, man. It honestly, the 115-inch 3-year-old, still excites me in Michigan. It really does.
Absolutely.
What's your guys' thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we can probably all agree on that. I mean, if there's a 3.5-year-old that walks in front of us, it's dead. I mean, no question about it.
Yeah, when I said it was sad, it's like I'm not bashing Michigan. It's just it's sad to see that other states have better regulations or better rules, and such simple things could change and make such big differences. And Michigan so just neglects what would change, and unfortunately, it seems like I don't know if this is true, but it just seems like they care more about money and DNR
Revenue.
and revenue. Yeah, so it's like when I say it's sad, I don't dislike Michigan hunting. I love Michigan hunting, like we all do. That's why But
We grew up here.
Yeah.
We're gonna go hunt in our backyard one way or another. So.
We have a great hunting culture too. I mean, you can go anywhere and talk to people that hunt. Everybody in Michigan, I mean, knows somebody that hunts. It's a big hobby here.
Oh yeah,
it's huge.
I mean, the last couple of years, November 15th, doesn't matter. Last year I was tagged out. I still stuck around.
Come on.
you don't count.
You're an anomaly.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
But I mean, it's a hunting tradition here. It's literally November 15th. Like I said, I was tagged out, and I still stuck around at home. I went to buck pulls with all my buddies. A couple of buddies had good bucks, so I'd hang out the buck pull, and that was literally one of the most memorable open days I've ever had. And I wasn't even able to hunt because I was tagged out.
Right.
It's just the hunting tradition is so strong here in Michigan. That's really what it backs down. The backbone of it for us here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And and that's why I went to social media of all places too. And maybe we should touch on this a little bit because
That's a sore
this
subject
has
right now.
hit you guys pretty low here soon.
You guys want me to go off again? It'll make.
So
Count to 10.
With everything going on with political reasons, and we're not going to get into that, but the Rise Hunt Instagram page, I mean, Tyler, you can take it from there, but you guys got ripped down off of Instagram for good.
Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, I don't even honestly know the reason other than maybe animal cruelty. But basically, the Rise Hunt is a group of guys that hunt for the right reasons. We follow all the rules. We purchase our tags. We're Christians. We hunt for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And our Rise Hunt Instagram is a platform that we can reach out to our followers, our sponsors, and everything. And we started the Rise 7-8 years ago. With basically the same goals then that we have now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we get on Instagram one day and it says, we don't meet Instagram's policies, and our Instagram got taken down. So we had to fill out an application, and then from there,
Within 4 hours.
Within
right?
4 hours,
You had a timeline on it.
Exactly. So as soon as we filled it out, it came back no. So our Instagram is essentially gone. It is deleted. It does not exist anymore. So
sucks, dude.
7, 8 years. It's just social media, but it doesn't matter. I mean, 8 years of posting photos, talking to people, talking to sponsors. I mean, we have contracts with people that we have to share, things on our social media
Certain
page.
deliverables and all that
Exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, we have paid partnerships that people promote our photos with sponsors.
Yep.
That doesn't exist anymore. In our contract, we literally have to share these things.
Yep. And I understand where you're coming from too, because like we're not coming from like social media is the end all be all. Like it's
Right.
like we don't, but it does help.
Yes,
it
it
is
does.
what is the driving force. I hate to say it, but it is the driving force of what our world is now.
That's
you
the
know?
day and age is what it is.
Exactly. So
I mean, let's not cut tag it over there out. That's his is blood and glory for broadheads.
Yeah, yep.
With the rec broadheads, that's what it is.
right.
That's our mean of advertising. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what people want to see in a broadhead is they want to see the blood trail, they want to see the entry and exit wound, and with what we're seeing now in social media being censored and taking pages down, that's kind of worrisome to a broadhead company on what's the future going to bring. Not that we're putting all of our tokens into social media, but that is you're able to reach a lot of people off social media, and
For sure.
that might be coming to a halt in the future.
Yeah, it's just scary. Like we're gone. I mean, how far how far behind are you?
I think
It's
it's
that
just
type
the
of thing.
beginning.
Yes.
You know.
And let's be honest, like you and I talked today too, like you even said, Tyler, that, the rise is a small fish in a big pond.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
We're-
And
I mean,
just
we're a
like the
minnow.
Fall Podcast, I'm a minnow in the pond
Exactly.
of like, and today you guys told me that Rage Broadheads and Muzzy got taken down as well. So like their Instagram is gone for right now. I'm gonna guess they're probably gonna fight that. I'm gonna guess, but
So I don't know how much truth there is to what I'm about to say, but what I've heard is PETA has a campaign going with Instagram and Facebook to remove hunting and gore out of social media is essentially what's going on right now. I thought it might have been a coincidence. Something we posted was, bloody or gory.
Yep.
That's why our page went down. But then when we see Rage Broadheads go down, and they are
That's a big one.
That's good. They are gore. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like, whoa, that's scary to think about what the future of hunting and social. I mean, we could essentially just be gone, like,
Right.
in the social media presence, not in real life, but just on Instagram and Facebook. The people who own it, if they don't agree with hunting, they can just take hunting off their platform.
exactly.
So that's terrifying to think about because. At that Badlands Film Festival we watched tonight, one of the guys, Jason Matzinger, he preaches conservation. Hunters are less than
Yes.
1% of our population. We're outnumbered 1,000,000 to 1. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Our odds are so bad. So the fact that they're going to take over on social media and start to get hunters off social media, that's terrifying for hunters.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because I mean, we want to continue to grow with the sport as it is. It's
Get new people in it and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I
And
mean, this country was built on hunting.
life in general. How how do we
how do you sustain
survive?
life if you don't
Yeah.
eat? This is part of it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's unless all you're gonna do is eat plants. But there's something that's gonna get killed in one way or another. Sorry to hate to break it to you, but
my food shits on your food.
That's it.
yeah.
If they wanted us to be vegetarians, they'd have made broccoli more fun to shoot at. I don't know what to say.
That's right.
Or Girl Scouts could have done it. So
That's right.
Hey, but we'll some Girl Scout cookies.
that's
I'll
not being
take every day.
sexist. Not being sexist. I mean, girls can hunt as well, but
Oh god, they're better shots than us. Unfortunately.
And that, like you guys said, that's just kind of the time we're in right now, and hopefully we're not doing a podcast talking about the Fall Podcast going down or the Humanimal, like
Right.
the brand that I represent as well as the Humanimal and the Kiefer Brothers. Like, I hope it's not one of those things where it's just like gone, like
Yeah.
you said, you got 7-8 years and we're in the same boat, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For
And
sure.
it's like built those things up. There's time, sweat, equity, dollars, monetization, all that stuff into that. And it's like, you just hate to see that get ripped away from you for, and I know you guys on a personal level, and it's not like even Matt, like, you're a broadhead company, but you're not you're not like a gory, you know. It's not like a Spartan, you know what I mean? Like it's not like that. It's like, you know, we're conservationists, like Tyler said. It's we're trying to do things the right way in the right form, and honestly, it's just to the point where it's, you know, the social media side of things is just ran by people that we don't really agree with. You know,
the world is getting soft. Unfortunately, it's basically
soft.
what it boils down to.
I wish
everybody's
it was
butthurt right now.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest with you.
I think it's that they just don't agree with us. It's not that they're soft. They just don't agree with us, and they have the ability to say, well, I don't agree with you, so you can just non-exist.
They can shut us off.
They can
quick,
shut us off.
You know?
Yep.
But thing is they don't understand all the backbone behind it all. Is the biggest problem in today's world. We could go on for hours about this, but I think the subject was Michigan, wasn't it?
It was Michigan. So
Sorry, got off there.
no, you're good, man. You're good. I took you down that road. So basically what I wanted to talk about today is we talked about Michigan. So I reached out on Instagram, on the Fall Podcast Instagram, and said, hey, we're doing a Michigan episode. Knew I'd be with you guys. So I want to touch on Michigan and the, you know, what you would do different, or, you know, what were the big things that you don't like or you do like about Michigan. And honestly, I'm kind of looking at all the responses right now, and it's a lot of the same things.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of the same
is.
things us four have talked about before.
Yeah.
You know, 1 buck rule, not having gun season be 25 days. Now, when I say that, you know, our rifle season right now is 15 days, and then you've got a muzzleloader season that's an extra 10 days that takes us to 25. So I'm going to go down the list here. I'm going to call out some people, and I appreciate everybody, you know, reaching out and kind of putting in your 2 cents and everything. I really do appreciate that. But some people I might not get to just because it might be a duplicate answer of there's a lot of that. So I'm going to go to the first thing. I think we should probably go around the room first and just say, you know, in a perfect world for Michigan, let's say we're out-of-staters. We're not Michiganders, okay? And we want to come to Michigan to hunt. What do you want to see? So, Nick, you kick it off. What do you want to see in Michigan to be a state where you're like, I'm going to go there every year, because you do a lot of out-of-state hunting. So what is going to make you come to Michigan to out-of-state hunt?
Oh, it's first thing, you know, right off the bat, we want to kill bigger deer.
Yep.
That's the reason I travel out of state, you know, is to kill bigger deer and to have the, you know, chance to fill other tags other than what we have here.
Now, with you saying that, how do we get to that point?
I mean, like I said, right back to the beginning, rule change. Rule change needs to happen in our state. We have the potential, no doubt about it. The biggest deer I've ever hunted in my life has been in Michigan, to be honest with you. But, you know, that's 1 buck in the last however many years. Yep. When you go from one caliber all the way down to the other, and I'm very fortunate here in Michigan. I will not lie.
You're really fortunate.
Yeah.
You got a hot spot.
Yeah. I will not hide that one bit. I am very fortunate here and blessed here in Michigan. But, you know, it's, you know, the opportunity versus thing is out of state. You can go out of state and you can have 3 to 4 to 5, whatever, however many different bucks in that caliber. Versus here in Michigan, you have 1, 2, if you're lucky. You're lucky, you know, like I said, I'm very fortunate to where I've been on
6, 7, 8.
No, I've had great deer to hunt here every year in Michigan for the last couple of years or however many years it's been. So I am spoiled. I'm lucky, but I mean that doesn't come short of hard work, dedication, or anything like that.
For sure.
But it's no different than any other state too. But like I said, you know, you're comparing 1 to 2 deer versus out of state. You got 3 to 4 or whatever it may be.
Yep.
But like I said, I'm spoiled here in Michigan compared to like some of the other people that like any you 3 too.
Yep. So Tyler, what would you do? I mean, for you to come out of state to come to Michigan to hunt, what would you do?
I mean, obviously we have to improve our deer herd to get bigger bucks, like Nick was saying, and I think a lot of that comes from, I mean, it's kind of like in business, like we already know the recipe how to be successful.
Yep.
Look at a different state. They have better bucks. Look at Iowa. Look at Illinois. Look at any of these states. Ohio, 1 buck tag. Antler point restrictions. There's a million things we could be doing. Shorter gun seasons. It's so obvious. And we've been saying these things for how many years? Like, we know the answers.
Beating a dead horse.
We're beating a dead horse, and it's just like, I don't know, what can we do differently? That's the question I ask myself all the time. How can I help? What can I do? I fill out the Michigan DNR survey every single year, and it's just like, in my eyes, I feel like that's all I can do to just help. I fill out that survey, and other than that is be a picky deer hunter and maybe kill 1 buck. If people just said, hey, I get 2 buck tags, but I'm just going to kill 1. I'm going to focus on shooting does. I'm going to talk to my neighbors. I'm going to create co-ops in the QDMA. I'm going to educate my neighbors. That's stuff that you could do here. You know what I'm saying? Not relying on the laws. I don't know. That's pretty much what it comes down to. If you want to make a change, those are the small things you could do.
Yeah, I give that a 5-star review right there.
Matt, what do you got?
I think Michigan has a lot of potential, as Nick mentioned, in not to jam big bucks down everybody's throat, because everyone has different goals.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
we have such a diverse habitat. From northern Michigan, the big woods, to the southern Michigan farmland, and different property sizes. But we have an abundance of public lands that don't really get hunted.
Land.
I don't know what the number is on out-of-state hunters coming into Michigan, but I'm sure it's extremely low.
Oh yeah,
it's very low
for sure.
There's really no incentive to come to Michigan to hunt unless you have a family member here or something like that, or you just want to go on a backcountry kind of hunt up north or something like that. But
do you see it different being a business owner in the outdoor industry in Michigan at all?
And I do, because I've realized after reaching out to a lot of the different archery shops we've been dealing with and stuff in different states that we have a heck of an outdoor industry in here in Michigan. We have so many pro shops, and like I talked about, the culture here in Michigan is huge. Owning an outdoor company in Michigan is pretty big because, everybody does it. Everybody's involved in the outdoors, it seems like. Where you go to some other states where they're, what do we have, like 800,000 hunters or something?
Something crazy.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And you go out to, states like Iowa. I think I've heard they've had like 130,000 or somewhere. Significantly lower.
Right.
So owning a business, this is a great place to be, but the quality of the deer is just not here because we have so many hunters, and our restrictions and our rules just don't allow for deer to reach age structure.
And that's kind of where I'm from too. Is like, I told you guys even tonight, and I've told you before, like I enjoy still going out my back door and hunting. Here in Michigan, I do. I just enjoy it. Now, where there's some things that I think we could change, definitely, is first I'm just going to say, like, I want us to be Iowa as well, or Illinois, or Kansas. Mm-hmm. But it's just, we're never going to see it in our lifetime because of, we have a lot more people that live in our state. Rule number 1, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, we have a lot more people that live here. There is more hunters that live here. And honestly, it's a revenue grab. It's going to be, opening day of deer season will always be November 15th. It doesn't matter how many of us get at the top of our soapbox or mountain, whatever, and beat at our chest and say, we want it to be December 1st or whatever. Yeah. It will never be because it is a revenue deal. My number 1 issue with Michigan is that the people that they feel like that are controlling our deer herd and our numbers have no clue. Because how many deer have you checked in
exactly
in your life?
In
Nick?
my life in Michigan?
In Michigan.
2, 3.
Okay. Tyler, how many have you checked in?
0.
Matt, 0. Me, 0.
Not mandatory.
How many people do you guys know that have checked in deer
1.
that are close to you?
Nick's the first one I've ever heard of checking a deer in.
Nobody in my life have I ever heard of checking in a deer. So, like, how can you sit there and show me numbers on a computer screen or tell me personally that, like, these are the numbers? You have no clue, in my opinion, and that's where I'm going to put it.
I
that's
agree
where
completely.
It starts.
They send out a mail or like a letter in the mail
survey,
or an email or something like that, and they expect people to fill it out and return it. How many people actually
Nobody
do
fills that shit
The
out.
last time I got one was 4 years ago, and it was the only one I've ever gotten.
Really?
Ever. Yeah.
The only reason I got to fill out the survey this year was because I
'Cause
went
it's online.
online, I searched for
Yeah.
it, and it was never sent to me.
Yep.
I had to go search for the survey.
I think I sent it to you, to be
You may
honest
have.
with you. Yeah, but let's, so let's be a little bit, before we get too deep into this, let's be 100% honest. In Michigan, yes, we want to kill good deer, everything, that's what everyone's kind of dream is. But at the same point, too, if any one of you guys killed a spike-horned buck or something along those lines, fork-horned buck, and you were jacked no other, every single one of us would be just as happy as that
Yes.
person. So it's not.
I agree.
This is
Yeah.
not just we need big deer, let's kill big deer, or anything like that.
Yeah, that's not what this is
No.
about.
No,
Not at all.
this is obviously we want the better caliber deer here, no doubt about it, because that's what we go to other states for. But we just need to be I feel like we just need to be a little bit clear on that point, that this just isn't we're big buck killers type of thing, because we're
100%.
not.
Yeah.
We all have different stages, but like I said, we got buddies that go out and they kill 6-point or anything like that, or whatever it may be. As long as they're happy, we're gonna be just as jacked as them.
Agreed, 100%. And, I've gotten so much feedback this year on a recent podcast that I did with Brent Todd. I don't know if you guys listen to that one at all. He's a Michigan guy, lives up by me. He's, the number one thing that I've got numerous, DMs or messages on where, and I don't know if this was verbatim how he said it, but he basically said, I'm quicker to hit the like button on a big smile than a big deer.
Yeah, I remember hearing that podcast now that you say that.
And I was like, dude, you fucking nailed it.
Yep.
You
It's
nailed
very
it.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I can't speak for you guys, but I can tell you when I was like a little ignorant little bastard back in high school and stuff, I was always bitching at the neighbor, like, why are you shooting that deer?
Yeah.
Or a guy in camp, it's like, why are you shooting that little 1.5 or 2.5-year-old 8-point on opening day of rifle season? I was that guy.
Oh,
But
we've all been there.
you get a little more mature and you figure out okay, I don't need to be an asshole, and I'm not saying go out and blow down every little deer, and I've preached, I feel like I've preached and preached and preached on my podcast about this all the time, and people are shutting the dial off right now, but shoot what makes you happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do it up, man, and I'm gonna be the first one there with a bush latte saying congrats, dude.
Shake your hand. I mean,
or
it
gal, it's.
I mean, even when it does come down to you're chasing that big deer. Let's say you're chasing your holy grail or whatever.
Yep.
Even if someone does, I've ran into this situation more times than I've actually been the one pulling the trigger on it. I go over there and I shake the guy's hand and I congratulate him, and that's all. And as long as I'm happy for, I'm just as happy for anyone.
Yep.
We don't own the deer.
No,
They're gonna do what
nobody
they're
does.
gonna do.
But the
And-
state of Michigan,
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm the first one to shake your hand to have a beer with you if I can.
Yep, definitely.
It's
and that's where I'm at too, and I think all of us are. I'll speak for you guys on that. But I'm gonna go down the list here, and I'm gonna kind of just read off what people were saying. We've got one here first from. I might butcher some of these, so don't throw the cross at me. All hate mail goes to the risehunt.com. So send all hate mail
That's
to
good, so you
them.
don't
The
exist anymore
Instagram
now.
actually would be preferred. You can send it to the Instagram.
We'll get it when it's back up.
Yeah.
You guys are way overmodulated there. That is my fault, not running the audio right the way. Sorry.
It's a couple bush lights deep. That's
Yeah,
why
yep.
blame it on that one.
So first is David Ungst. So he says, earn a buck program with 1 buck tag, less gun seasons, shouldn't need a month plus of it. So, I mean, we all agree on that.
Agreed, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Earn a buck, that'd be an awesome strategy.
God.
Yeah, and I think it would. I mean, Wisconsin did that for a while,
Yep.
where it's, you kill a doe before you get to kill a buck, and I'm not actually sure how that went for them. I've never heard anybody complain about it, so I'm gonna guess that was a plus.
I would actually kind of disagree with that one, to be 100% honest. I'm gonna go out on a limb with it, because I mean, you got those people that literally they go out there, they have a certain amount of time to hunt, and they have so little time where they're just like, I want to go out and kill a deer. It's just, nothing wrong with that. If you're going out there to hunt and provide for your family, to put meat on the table or anything like that, why should if you have a doe come through or a buck come through before a doe, why should you not be able to kill it? So I'll disagree with that one a little bit. I mean, that's trophy buck hunter talking at that point, like I would agree with it or whatever, but obviously too here in Michigan, our buck to doe ratio, we can all agree on this, that our buck to doe ratio is so far out of whack that it's stupid. But you got to take the little bit of benefit of the doubt with other people that don't have the time that some of us do or anything along those lines. So
yeah,
I'm going to disagree
Well,
with.
and that's the thing too, and you guys might be able to elaborate on this a little bit too, is like I'm looking at it as same with you guys, like we can hunt just about any day. You know what I mean? Like exception of maybe a couple mornings or whatever, but like
Right.
we're not like the typical weekend warrior guys.
No,
So like I don't want to speak to those guys, like the guys
Yeah.
that are working the 9 to 5s, quote unquote, if you will, and it's like they only get Saturday and Sunday to hunt. You know
if
what I
they're
mean?
lucky, I mean, you got
Yeah,
kids, you
exactly.
got obligations, everything along those lines.
100%.
You may only get, let's say, twice the hunt in a whole month.
Yeah.
For those people, but
That if you look at the unique situation that we have here in Michigan too, I mean, from northern Michigan to southern Michigan are two completely different habitats. They took baiting away. Baiting's been
It's almost like two different
is
states.
it, yeah, it is. It is.
It is.
It's been 2 years now. Baiting's been illegal, I think.
yeah.
Well,
And-
I think you could still bait in the UP.
In
the
Upper
UP,
Peninsula,
in the
correct,
UP.
correct.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
northern,
we
lower.
might as well consider them Canada,
Yeah, they're
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. They're over the bridge, those guys. Yeah. But,
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys up in northern Michigan I've heard this year during rifle season never seen a deer the whole time. It's, what is it, 2-week gun season or whatever
Yep.
it is, rifle season. Never seen a deer.
Yeah.
Because it's just big woods and nothing against some people, but, some guys just aren't really into it. They got their spot they go sit in every year.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they just,
absolutely.
They don't put in the scouting, whatever. They sit there for they're for a week and they don't see a deer. And so to tell them, hey, you've got to kill a doe before you kill a buck,
That's tough.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
that's
tough.
real tough.
Because I know how my dad and my uncles grew up. We got a deer camp up in the UP, up in the Rapid River area. Wow, I can't say Rapid River.
Drinking our
Rapid
Busch Light,
River,
why don't
yeah.
ya?
Get a little latte in me. Rapid River area, and I've never personally hunted up in the UP. I know people that hunted up there, but basically they say if you can't catch a migration, you're kind of pooched. You know what I mean? And they're hunting all public land. My dad and my uncles, they're all public land guys. When they go up there, so it's like, well, honestly, I think it's just an excuse for them to go up and drink beer. But
More
you
likely,
know,
yeah.
I mean, good on them, really. I mean, what hunting are they doing? But no, I agree. Like, it's it's tough sledding up there, and I think. But I also go back to saying, like, I think the people in charge of Michigan's outdoors and hunting and DNR and stuff like that, they need to be a little more in tune of what's going on and
certain
where
areas.
in different areas
Yep.
That's-
in the whole state. Am I wrong?
It feels like they're so out of tune with what is actually going on in this state. We have such a large amount of license sales every year. We have good money rolling into the system, and they can't put together a telecheck system to actually see how many deer are getting killed. They can't. I feel like they could be doing more.
Oh, I mean, it even boils down to the point to where you call a DNR officer and they don't even show up because you don't even have enough DNR officers in the area. You have one per county or something along those lines. I mean, you may be turning something in to someone that's doing the wrong. Even still trying to get to that point. So it's like you let alone take that, and then you're trying to like broadcast that throughout the whole entire state. We're talking
Have you had that instance where you've called a DNR officer and
a couple times.
Okay.
Couple times.
yeah?
I'm all for, I'm not gonna judge people, but when I know someone doing something wrong, I'm gonna call it
So
out.
okay, let me go back on this though. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kind of call us four out here, me included.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in the wrong for not getting hold of the DNR and like saying I want to check my deer in, and being proactive doing that? I kind of cast blame to ourselves for doing that. Also, I'm included.
Yeah.
Because it's not the first thing or the last thing I'm thinking about. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things on a personal level we could do too. Kind of like a lot of myself included. I'd like to see a 1 buck rule, as well as a lot of people in the state. But
But if you killed one, if you had 2 good bucks and you killed 1 good buck, you still want that second tag to kill another buck.
So if you really want the 1 buck tag, are you killing 1 buck and calling it a season, or are you going out and hunting still because you have a second tag?
Oh, I was going for 2 this year, no doubt about it. So
tell me this. Okay, you killed a really good buck this year in Michigan. What do you end up scoring? 136,
135, and some change or something. I mean,
who's counting really? Okay, if you have 1 buck tag, are you killing that deer this year? On October 2nd.
Yes. Just because of my history in Michigan. That's the only reason why. Granted, the other buck he was a hell of a deer. Oh yeah. He was definitely a good deer. But I will say, I had 2 deer coming into the season. I said, that one's number 2, that one's number 1. I killed number 2 October 2nd.
Tough problem to have.
Oh, that's definitely tough. But hey, I never ended up killing number 1, so I made the right choice if it was 1 buck tag state.
Oh, jeez, here we go. But no, I'm kind of putting ourselves on blast though here though. Yeah. I don't want to be like we're standing at the top of the mountain saying we have all the answers. That's not what I'm trying to say.
We don't.
No.
I'm trying to say we're part of the problem too. We could be proactive in doing this
for sure.
Absolutely.
And I feel like with platforms like we have with the Rise and the Fall Podcast, which we probably need to, as Nick has Butterfingers over there getting a Coors Light, I feel like we maybe need to do something about figuring out how we can get these things more implemented. You know, I don't know what that is, but we need to figure these out.
We're guilty. Like I said, we admit it. We're guilty. We could all work with conservation in the area 100% better. I mean, we're all small people. We're just a fraction.
Minnows.
But
like Tyler said, minnows.
Yeah, but I mean, we do have an impact around our areas and everything. Quit spilling your beer over there.
Oh, Jesus.
But we
party foul over here.
I mean, like I said,
together we can all have an impact if we work together. Whether the state wants to initiate, regulations that are going to work for us or not. I mean, the quality deer management is coming. I was a part of it years ago with these co-ops across the state. That they've built. Neighboring landowners that get together and say, "Hey, we want better age structure, healthier deer." And they get together and they just do it upon themselves with the QDMA, and they come in and make these co-ops, and they've had great luck with it.
Oh yeah. Well, let's rewind it 3-4 years ago compared to now. Have you guys seen better deer? Have you seen better bucks? Have you seen anything along those lines? Have you guys?
I'm going to speak for myself and say, yeah, I have. I mean, last year on, I'm not just going to say on trail cam because I had them. I saw them from glassing from the truck and everything. Never saw them in the season, but yeah, you're.
Oh my gosh, wow. That was a lot of beer, Nick.
This guy.
That was a hole
He just missed his
you
mouth.
You have a hole in your lip over there.
Wow.
But what I'm saying is, I had a mid 140s type deer in Michigan here that I was getting consistent pictures of, seeing on the hoof, not in season, but in daylight hours. That's a deer that, to a lot of people, is a deer of a lifetime. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And in Michigan, that's a deer of maybe 2 lifetimes,
for
you
sure.
know? And that's something that I've strive for, and that's on one farm. On the other farm this year, I had a drop tine deer that was, touching 150.
It's a holy grail.
Low 150s, yeah, but the thing is, it's big timber. It's a crapshoot. If all 4 of us hunt that 217 acres, 215 acres, it's who knows? The neighbor ends up shooting them on, early October, and it's good on him. So it's just tough to say. It really is, but I just feel like us 4 in general, I'm going to put us on blast because I don't want it to be we're up here preaching to everybody, but I feel like me personally, I could do more, honestly.
Well, Matt, I know you've owned your house farm there for your whole life.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah, and last year you had a decent buck showing up, and he ended up getting hit by a car or whatever.
He's 125-inch 8-point, which is the best buck I've had on camera on probably 6 years, maybe.
Yeah. What do you think his age was? Or did you get him aged?
I didn't get him aged. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a 2-year-old deer.
Really?
Yeah. He had a great frame on him. But, I'm optimistic. I actually, this year, I say it every year, but I have some good bucks, some good 2-year-old bucks made it through the year this year that I'm optimistic are going to be around next season and going to be some good deer to go after. I mean, I didn't have anything to go after this year, really, that I was super interested in, and I haven't in the past couple of years. It's just
Is that okay to you? Is that okay?
It sucks. It really does. I mean, and, I guess traveling out of state, it kind of changes your perspective, too.
Yeah.
You always got to, I always come back to Michigan, and I change my goals here. My goals aren't the same as they would be in Missouri or in Ohio.
But your goals going from, like, Illinois to Missouri are going to be different as well, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So, like, from state to state, it's not like it's like Michigan against everybody. It's like...
Yeah, it's different everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You can't kill 150 if he ain't there.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you. I mean...
If there was one there, you would know.
Nick would know.
Nick would know.
We should get into that because Tyler had some good bucks on his farm this year.
Tyler,
and he lets you go in, give you the keys to hunt this year, and then you pass up like $5.
That's just luck. That's that lucky rabbit foot there.
It took me 11 years to kill a buck over 130 on my Michigan farm.
Yep.
11 years. It's a 20-acre farm. That's honestly common for somebody
Oh,
to spend a whole
I
lifetime.
love that too.
In Michigan, that's everyone.
Like that
it seems like.
Exactly. So what I'm getting at
Is it a lease or private?
private.
Okay.
Yep, it's landlocked by railroad tracks. It's like half ag, half hardwoods.
Okay.
And you had to completely transform that farm.
I did.
To get that opportunity.
Matt and I
That
rented
was-
tractor, or we had the tractor, but rented a dozer and an excavator, and we dug stumps out in the middle of the winter. Like, it was probably a 2-year transformation. We cut that farm open and planted beans and food and some bedding, and
Yep.
and literally the year after we did that, boom, we killed a 130-inch buck. I was like,
Really?
holy crap, dude! Like, what we did worked. And then even going into this year, I
You
had
had some great bucks this year out
great
there
bucks
too.
this year. So, like, habitat improvement is just, if you want to see bigger deer, like, you reap what you sow, clearly. So, like,
100%.
if you can put in food plots, put in bedding, do hinge cutting, like, if you want to see better deer herd or more deer and a better deer herd, like, put effort towards your property. It doesn't matter how big it is. Like, you have a 1-acre farm, dude,
Yep.
and there's stuff you're doing to it, and you're seeing results.
Yeah, and that's what like this year I had a 120-inch 8-pointer. Now, to a lot of people listening to this might be like, wow, that's just a ding.
Oh, that's awesome.
But honestly, I had a 120-inch 8-pointer on 1 acre this year that, you know, I had a cell cam in this 1 acre. I watched him for 34 hours with a doe on the edge of it that I couldn't get an opportunity at. And my hands were tied. I
Yep.
watched him breed her 4 times. And then when I left, my cell cam goes off. In daylight, in shooting hours, he's in there within bow range of my stand. I'm like, well, shit, you know? And that's the thing. The last 4 years, if I'm here to be able to put the time in and effort to do that, I have the opportunity at those deer. So it's like,
For sure.
I can't be mad at that.
Right.
No.
You know what I mean? So it just goes to show you, if you have the right 1 acre, it can happen.
You look at even though you got that picture, you look at that deer and like, you were dead. I killed you, but I just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, in a sense, that's almost like, accomplishment in a way too, because it's like, I had you and I figured you out. You were dead. I just wasn't there.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just like when I just killed that one there in Ohio, the one that came in with the one was
The
bigger.
biggest deer ever.
Yeah, and even still,
I
it's
went
like
past him. He was
Yeah.
only 160.
Yeah,
Typical.
no,
Not
whatever.
a big deal.
But the other one, it's like people are like, oh, the other one. I'm like, the other one was dead. I could have, he was in range. I could have, but it's just chip shot versus a questionable shot. That's a whole different story that you can listen to. In
A
another
spooked deer. He was spooked,
Yeah.
and one
Yeah.
thing left, bird in the hand, better than 2 in the bush, whatever you
it
want.
just flip your coin is basically what it boils down to, and
You passed them.
yeah, he
He
broke-
passed the 170.
he broke off half the one time, and whatever, we just let him go another year. But anyways, it's just what it is. It's literally you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and it doesn't matter if you're there or not. It's like you played it out to where that deer could have been dead if you were there, in a sense too.
Yep. No, I agree. I'm going to go through a little more here on the Instagram. So, Back 40 Buck Calls. He basically wrote me a novel, but I'm just going to kind of just
Sum it
slice
up.
sum it up here.
Yep.
He said, "Let's see, where does this start? It freaking sucks," he says.
Yeah.
Amen.
And then I'm gonna butcher this, but Joseph underscore Demedia. Sorry about that if I got it wrong, but going to one buck tag, trespassing, and poaching. So let's get into that a little bit. Do you guys have any issues with trespassers or poachers?
Absolutely.
Trespassers, yes.
I can't even. And
Really?
You're beating a fucking dead horse. Sorry, the
Really?
language, but yeah. Oh yeah. So at my lease, I don't have anything to worry about with that, just because it's literally anything around my stuff is there's probably at least 200, 300 acre crop fields around my lease. But at my house is a whole different ball game. I've had cameras stolen. I've literally
No
watched
kidding.
people from the
On
trees.
private ground.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we live on a private road, and then there's property.
You live in your
that's-
mom and dad's basement?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. I'm a 30-year-old that lives in my mom's dad's basement. Yes, I'm that dude. I don't play the video games or like what you imagine, but no. So anyways, yes. Anyways, we go over there. That's where I grew up hunting. That's we had the 140 acres, 120 acres. That's where I grew up hunting. And so private road, other road that comes off it, and all these people start coming off this other road. I go in there and do all this work, trail cameras, food plots, all this stuff. Opening morning, I'm sitting in the stand. All of a sudden, I see this guy come walking across the middle of the swamp, and at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm like,
On your property.
oh yeah. And I'm just like, all right, So I go out there, put a note, pull all the stuff down, put a note on there. You want your stuff? Call this number. Here's my phone number. Like, let's get this taken care of. Yeah, that's happened probably 3 or 4 years in a row, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just.
Oh, man. I've personally never had really any issues with any trail cam stolen or trespassers.
Oh.
My 20 acres is bad because, like I said, it's kind of landlocked, and then
Yeah.
I think I have like 5 parcel that touch on the west side and 5 that touch on the other side. And there's 4 sides to a rectangle, but there's all kinds of properties that touch me all the way around. And it seems like these people have an acre, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go for a walk in the woods. I'm going to walk to the back of my acre and walk through my property. It's just like everyone has that same mentality. They can just go trespass. And it's
gotcha.
like that blows my mind. It's like, you try to wait for the right wind or a rain or to go check a camera or to, you try to be precise, and it doesn't matter. There's people walking their dogs across food plots.
I get that, yeah.
And then, like I said, the railroad tracks, so people walk up and down the railroad tracks all day, which half the deer get accustomed to, so that's kind of good. That helps me a little bit, but...
That's another big issue with like southern Michigan here is it seems like everybody owns a small piece of property.
That's it.
And they all have somebody that hunts that small piece of property.
That's it, too, man.
There's not a chunk of property that doesn't go hunted.
That's right.
No, oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
You go out west in some of these other states, Illinois, Ohio, whatever. These guys have 1,000-acre section that might have one guy hunting it or might not have anybody hunting in it.
for sure.
And that's probably a lot of the reason why some of these deer get so big is because they don't have the pressure. We have guys on 5 acres here, left and right, everywhere you go.
That's
Wherever they can nestle in,
Yes.
So,
But I almost feel like it's a double-edged sword in a way, too, because you get them deer out there where they're like human son, they're like, oh, hell no. Versus here, they're like, okay, human son, it's not
You
very,
probably get away
very
with a
big,
little more.
very big threat.
Yeah.
But it's like, I almost feel like they almost have like a radar. It's literally like either the deer's like, okay, that scent's like so strong, and then
Right.
just kind of like it just works, and it's like the closer you are, the stronger the scent is to them. They're like, they have a certain breaking point
it's
where they're just like,
adapting to
okay,
its
it's a
environment.
threat
Yeah,
or it's
essentially.
not, type of thing. So it's kind of like I said, double-edged sword in a way.
Well, that's like you hear some of these guys down in far southern Michigan in some of those counties killing these deer down in subdivisions. And
Oh, yeah.
They're
Oh,
killing
yeah.
5-year-old monster deer
Monsters.
in people's backyards.
Yeah, my biggest deer before this year was literally I killed it pretty close to the city. I mean, that was you
I
could
was back
basically
in there.
You
yeah,
poached
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I don't know.
No hunting zone. I'm a state. No. It's literally one. You could basically consider that a city deer.
The biggest deer in Michigan, I feel, live in the city.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, what was that one guy that killed that one a couple of years ago? It's like over 200
It was
inches.
over
And
200, yeah.
that was
Yeah.
literally a
was
city
his
deer.
name?
In Ann Arbor?
Somewhere around
Washtenaw
those
County
ranges.
or
Washtenaw?
something. Yeah.
Somewhere, yeah.
I mean, you can basically consider that a city deer. But I mean, they're a little bit more lenient because they're smelling humans on a daily basis almost every day, so they get a little bit more relaxed with the human scent.
But like you said, it's like they know when it's in their zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know?
It's
when it's in the bubble of like, oh shit, I gotta figure
Too
something
close.
out here. Yeah. No, I agree. So going on here, so Hunt Pod, which he's a huge supporter. Thank you to Hunt Pod. I don't know if you guys follow Hunt Pod or on Instagram.
No.
He literally looks at all the hunting podcasts and everything and reviews them and everything. He's a good dude. He says 1 buck tag, and he's a Michigan guy.
Okay.
So 1 buck tag and shoot more does, which we've talked about tonight.
Absolutely.
You know, and I told you guys personally, like, I'm passionate about shooting does. Like,
no problem
you can't change my thought process on shooting does.
But there's this old mentality going around Michigan that is stuck for years and years that you don't kill does. You do not kill a doe, and that's just in a lot of people's heads.
You always want to get that buck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the older, and I'll be honest with you, like my family farm, we've got some older guys like my dad and his best friends and my uncle and stuff like that. Like, you know, when they grew up, it was like the cool thing was that, you know, you got to get your buck. You know, you got to shoot your buck. Like, those antlers. You got to get those antlers. Whether it's a button buck or whatever, it didn't matter, you know. So I think that old, like you said, the older mentality still holds true, and it's a strong mentality right now. It's like, you know, and me personally, like, we could go into another podcast talking about, like, why I think you should shoot does, but realistically, like, it's just go hunt out of state and find out, hit a grunt call or hit some rattle antlers, blind rattle or something, and you'll realize why you need to shoot does, because the bucks will run out of nowhere.
Our buck to doe ratio here is just so out of whack, unfortunately.
I mean, we have a lot of deer in Michigan. And generally speaking, we have a ton of deer.
No, that's one good thing about Michigan, actually, too, is we do have a high deer density number. I mean, like I said, I'm speaking for myself here, but there's been times where I've been there and I've seen 10, 15 deer on a sit. I've been in other states where when I was hunting down in Ohio this year and I killed my buck, I was lucky to see a single deer. You know, so it's like you compare the buck that, you know, like deer density numbers from state to state. Yeah.
Age structure is low.
Yes, exactly. That's the head on the nail right there. Is basically what it boils down to.
But that could be situational too, because you knew in Ohio that, you know, late season, but you had your eyes set on 2 good bucks that were like 2 good bucks.
I mean, they were mediocre 2-year-olds, as if you want to call it that.
But you knew though that like that it was like all or nothing. You knew you were gonna see like either you were gonna see these deer or you weren't gonna see any deer.
Pretty much, yeah. That was definitely a very situational type deal. Is what it was. Is, you know, I had the cameras running and everything along those lines where it's like I said, it's either those deer or no deer, pretty much. And
definitely.
Yeah.
Now, Tyler, I want to talk to you about a little bit about the deer density behind your house, because we're sitting in your house here.
Yeah.
You've been throwing up pictures and videos and everything. You've got food plots and you've got good habitat, which I can see from a distance, you know, behind your place, and you have deer out here behind your house all the time, right?
Yeah, pretty commonly.
So, I mean, you're within. I mean, are you technically within city limits here?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, of like
edge.
southern,
right on the edge.
Southern, we're in the Clio area.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, what do you think your deer density is here? I mean,
small, like 20 or 30 deer, like around here total, maybe.
Like, per square mile.
Per square mile, maybe 20 or 30 deer, which sounds awful, but we live in Michigan and we're near the city. And I mean, think, just go down Wilson Road, and here's like something that's pretty crazy is like if you knock on doors. They either hunt or they know somebody who hunts. So if they have land, it's being hunted, period.
Yep.
Like if there's 50 parcels right here, all 50 parcels are going to be hunted. And that's just like, that's what it is. You know what I mean? I have beans and food plots and all kinds of stuff planted back here, and there's days I sit 3-4 sits and don't see a deer. and that's just the reality of where we are here. But you go, 20 minutes up the road, I have that 20-acre farm I was talking about, and I see deer every sit there. So
why do you think that is? Because, I look behind your house right here, and you've got some of the best food plots, late season plots right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a foot of snow on the ground right now,
Yeah.
maybe if not that. And, deer are in that hammering it right now. Like, why do you think that is?
they're in here now, I think. But I think during October, November, I'm not really sure they're not here, why they're not here, but we have food right now, so they're here. You see what I'm saying? I have standing beans in my backyard, planted by my pool. So,
exactly.
See what I'm saying? Like, during, summer months, they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to go by the pool. But late season, beans are right there. So survival, yeah. They're like, well, it's kind of sketchy.
Just find them what they can.
Yeah, it's sketchy to eat right here. It's so close to this house, but it's food, so.
Yep. No, I get that for sure. Going back to Instagram here. So, self_made_88 responds to your question. One buck tag, bring back registering your deer APR. So we're talking about registering your deer. So, yes, we kind of brush on that. Like, me, in my personal opinion, that's the first thing that needs to happen.
Yeah, it should be mandatory.
Oh, mandatory.
That's,
Ohio, perfect
almost
example.
every other state's doing it.
Or Missouri. Missouri has an app. You go on there. You don't even have to put a physical tag on your deer. You go in there. Literally, the last deer I killed in Missouri was 2017, and I've killed a couple bucks and a couple deer in Missouri. You stand over your deer before I even move it. I'm on the app, and I'm like, you put in your whatever, and tag punch.
Done.
You're done.
Oh,
done right there.
Yeah, that's why last year is the very first deer I ever killed in Missouri, and that was like the best thing. I'm like, we're done.
Yep.
Here it is.
Easy to do. And not only does that help the biologist on figuring out how many deer are actually taken in the state, but it also helps the officers on illegal deer that were illegally taken. You know.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, that's honestly, it's. Obviously you get some old timers now that they're not all like phone techie or whatever it is maybe, but that was honestly the easiest thing I've ever done.
Yep.
You just compare like Ohio's got like an easy system where you call it in and everything along those lines, like this year compared to last year. But it was just like I hop on the app, boom, 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 boom. Here we are. We're done. You don't even need your license on you or anything out there in Missouri. As far as I'm concerned, it's what you had the app and you could pull up all your license and everything.
Yep. Everything's right there on your phone.
Yeah, and that was so convenient and so nice for us, like newer people.
Yep.
Like the old timers, obviously. They go to the store. Here's your tag. It might have been. But
how can Michigan DNR make changes without knowing the numbers accurately? That's what always blows my mind.
100%.
How can they say, oh, this is going to help, or taking away baiting, or doing how? They don't know their numbers if they're not.
Where the numbers they have come from.
Right. It's a guess.
Honestly, I think it's tag sales.
Dude.
Tags that are sold to the quote-unquote number of hunters that we have in Michigan, and they're just figuring out.
I wish.
But the thing is, I bought 3 tags this year. I bought my combo tag and my doe tag and everything like that. I filled 2 of them. So how you're literally like you're assuming I'm gonna fill every single tag?
Yep.
No, it's not gonna happen.
It's a made up number somewhere that they're just pulling, and I just can't believe it until someone can come forward and say, this is where we're getting it from, and actually have facts of like, this is where it's coming from, and this is the facts to back it up. I'm not believing anybody.
For sure.
Exactly.
I'm really right there with you.
The sad part is, I feel like car insurance has have a big toll on our tags here.
It really has, probably.
I would love to see the difference. Say we implemented a telecheck license where you had to check every deer you killed over an app, internet, telephone, whatever, versus the numbers they're reporting now. I think there would be a substantial
from year to year.
Yeah.
It would be you're gonna have those people that are just, I killed that deer and whatever it is.
Yep.
It's never gonna be 100% accurate.
No, it's always gonna be what it is. From state to state doesn't matter.
Right.
But it's at least I feel like they'd have a more accurate than. Oh, we're gonna send a letter in the mail to 3 out of 5 people or whatever it is maybe nowadays, or expect people to go online. We all agree with it. It's just I don't feel like they're getting quite the accurate reading that they should be on the deer that are getting killed.
No, I agree. I'm going to kind of move on here. Hybrid Outdoors says, I hear the biggest issue with becoming a $1 tag state is the loss of revenue. Now, I do agree with that, but the thing is, in my opinion, I will pay the price of what I'm paying for
sure.
a combo tag for $1 tag right now.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
it.
I mean, I just know what could come out of it. I don't know what your guys' thoughts.
I think that our what we should be worried about is getting new hunters and not license sales. And I know how is that not the most important thing?
Exactly.
With the amount of hunters that are less and less and less, or maybe they're just not buying tags anymore. We don't know because we're just guessing at this point. But that should be the most important thing, is getting more hunters in. And then like the diehard hunters that have hunted 30 years in their life that want $1 tag, that want change, I'll pay more. You want me to pay triple? I'll pay triple.
A lot of people would pay more.
We're not afraid to spend more money to have better deer hunting. We want the quality to go up.
And not to mention to bring in out-of-staters.
For sure,
what's
man.
an average
100%.
out-of-state tag? You're looking
Right.
in $200, $300, $400.
Yeah, sure.
In most other states, we can
Illinois.
bring out-of-staters in. We have so many towns up in northern Michigan that are,
thrive off of hunting.
of hunting
you know
and
what I mean?
snowmobile
Yeah.
sales and stuff, and they would love to see out-of-state dollars come in and
That's
rent
it.
their motels, go to their party stores, their bars, their restaurants. I mean,
Yep.
it would be a big thing.
All right,
For sure.
what's your answer on this one? Because I'm gonna wait for last on this response.
On what?
This response.
For the revenue?
I
Yeah.
don't remember the question.
I mean,
I just start going off.
he said, I hear the biggest issue with becoming a $1 tag state is the loss of revenue.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, I feel like Michigan as a whole says they see, like, okay, if we go to $1 tag, we're going to lose X amount of dollars. No, I think you go. I feel like if you say we're going to $1 tag, I feel like you're gonna get some backlash. You're gonna get some guys or gals that are saying like, no, I want that $2 tags, but you're gonna get. I feel like just as much, maybe even a little more, that are say, screw that. I don't care. I will pay the money to, have $1 tag, the price of $1 tag. The price of $2 tags. I'm sorry, of being $1 tag. That's where I'm at with it. What's your thoughts?
People are not going to stop hunting because you take away a buck tag.
Exactly.
No.
They're not going to stop. They're not going to.
So they might want to give
They're
you.
gonna
not buying
spend
a
their money
license,
still.
If they're not going to buy a license because of the increase, they're probably not buying a license now.
Yep.
I mean,
They're going to buy their arrows. They're going to buy their bows. They're going to buy their vanes. They're going to buy their broadheads. They're going to buy their
Right.
camo. They're going to buy everything still.
did any of you guys take the survey this year?
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I said, I went
yeah.
online and found it, and one of the questions was they were looking at getting rid of the combo tag, which is it's
yeah.
$2 basically.
Dude, the questions that they asked this year, I'm like, yes.
Looking at charging the same price, but turning it into a doe tag and a buck tag. So
Yep.
one of each.
2 either sex tags.
Yeah,
Right.
still 2 tags, but only $1.
Yep.
Same price. You're still paying the price.
For sure.
All right, so here's the response that
You're
I
going to
got.
throw a
Let's
spoke
get it.
Here we go.
So
wrench in the
like I
spokes,
said,
I mean.
like my buddy that I hunt with down there in Ohio, he's a little bit older than me. When I talked to him, when he was growing up hunting, Michigan was the place to come and hunt. They would drive from Ohio.
He's in his 50s.
Yeah,
right?
he's mid 50s.
Okay.
They would drive all the way up here. They would go up to like by the Holland Lake area. They would go there and deer hunt. They would go to Pennsylvania deer hunt, just because they didn't have the deer really down by then. So at that time, Michigan, back in the day, Michigan used to be the place that everyone would go and hunt. We have such the camaraderie built up around Michigan places to deer hunt. As far as buck pulls, everything like that, there's not many states that you go to. Like, you don't go to Iowa and there's a buck pull for open day gun season.
No, you don't.
Or
They find a
anything
deer
like that.
processor out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like Michigan has such a hunting-based community built around us, and it's been traditional and everything along those lines for so many years, and now everything's just falling apart. I mean, do you know a non-resident? I ask all three of you guys. Do you know a non-resident comes to hunt to Michigan?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
I don't think so, no.
Exactly. The only time that that non-resident that I know that comes to hunt Michigan is because they have a family base
Family here. They maybe grew up
and it's
here,
a
moved
deer
away,
camp.
and
Yes,
come back.
exactly, because they come here for that camaraderie or whatever it may be.
We're not on the map.
No, we're just unfortunately we're not. But even if we just went to a $1 tag state, I mean, look at Indiana. Indiana literally has almost about the same gun season as us as far as like time frame as fall when it falls and everything along those lines. And, you know, a lot of people, Indiana's kind of a sleeper state, and a lot of people will go to Indiana to hunt, especially from Michigan, because it's close, right? You know, you can make a few-hour drive when you're there. And, you know, I'm not saying you're going to go there and you're going to get killed next 200-inch deer, but they really have a good program going on there. And, you know, just we could really relate to them in a way. If we went to one buck tag state, I would say we would be very relatable to Indiana, and we could start pulling them non-resident revenue. Versus now, like I said, the only time we get a non-resident hunter here is because the family lives here or something along those lines. And someone's not coming here to kill a big buck nowadays. Let's just be 100% honest.
I'm 100% on board with one buck rule personally.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see happen. I don't know if it will or not, but I feel like at the very least they should get rid of the damn combo tag. They should do like Missouri does, where you get one bow tag for anything and one gun tag.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
that'd be great.
And you can still kill 2 bucks.
you still
there.
kill 2 bucks, but it has to be season specific.
Yep.
Because you know how many people go up to camp and they shoot the first buck they see.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because they know they've got a second tag.
You got to kill one with your bow and one with your gun.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You
there's
can't
That
kill-
would help. It's not 100% fixed, but that would help.
There's nothing wrong with you going out there like hungover to no other and going out and killing a buck on the second, you know, open day gun season. You know, nothing wrong with that because camaraderie. That's where Michigan is so strong at, is because our camaraderie and everything along the tradition, everything. That's where we are built upon.
Yep.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But you know, we got to do something to help try to make it a little bit better one way or another.
We have to create opportunity for everybody across the spectrum, you know?
Yes.
The guys like us that want to kill a big deer don't really have the opportunity right now. Occasionally, like, Nick's got the hot spot, but aside from that, like,
that's where I'm hunting next year.
I don't have a lot of friends that are able to go after 130, 140-inch deer every year. It's not really a thing.
Well, let's be honest, too. Like, I mean, amongst us 4, how many 130-inch deer did we have amongst us 4 to hunt last year in Michigan? I didn't have one.
0.
0 for me.
Nick, how many did you have? 2?
Like, he doesn't count.
Yeah, he doesn't count.
The biggest deer I've killed in Michigan ever is 108 inches. And I'm not claiming to be the best hunter. I'm not claiming to be the worst hunter. But I put in the work. I do food plots. I low pressure.
Hunt
I
every
stay off
year.
the property. I hunt, you know. 108 inches. That's what I got.
Mine's 126.
Yeah, 131.
What's yours, Nick?
143 off public during gun season with the bow.
Okay.
He throws in all the stats.
You're just an asshat.
You gotta go. He just throws all the stats
On
into
public during gun season with a bow.
bow.
That's an asshat.
Yeah.
I suck.
He's an
But
anomaly. That's
Yeah.
what he is.
Literally, I worked my fucking God knows what in the dirt for that one. I mean, that was 2 years hiking a bike in, setting a stand up, pulling it down every single sit.
By the way, that stand you had hung back there,
Yeah,
sketchy as shit.
Bat actually hunted that after I killed that buck. Bat went back there and hunted that, and he's like, "Oh my!"
I called you mid climb up, like, dude, how do you get in the stand?
He's like, "I don't have enough sticks to make it up that high." Yeah, no,
You're an asshat.
I've tried
That's what
to
you
climb
are.
in some stands that you've hung, and they are terrifying.
He's a monkey.
He's like
So that's what you
60
gotta do
pounds.
then.
He's like 60 pounds, and they're like half tightened. I'm like, oh no, this ain't gonna hold me, bro.
Not my style.
I'm like literally like 5 foot tall too, and like Tyler's 7 foot, and Matt's like 6'5" or whatever. They're like, how did you make it all the way up there? I'm like, I don't know. I just was like doing pull ups on the way up.
He'll just grab one handed, and his whole body will go to the next step.
Like box jump it.
And that's how he gets the big ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I defeated odds on that one, but goddamn, did I work my ass off for him?
Oh.
And I mean, literally, that brought tears to my eyes on that one because I worked so hard. For
Do you
that
ever
deer.
feel like when you go out of state? I mean, I'm not trying to sound like cocky or anything like that, but do you feel like hunting so hard and having to work so hard in Michigan that when you go out of state,
It's easier.
Yeah.
it's like putting the video game on easy mode?
Agreed.
No, not at all. Not
What
at
the
all.
hell?
Because it's
What?
on easy all the time for him.
It's always
Yeah.
easy. That's
No.
right.
I guess, that's
No.
what it is.
I
You don't have to elaborate on that.
No,
It's
I
just
work-
easy.
I work my ass off no matter what, and
I'm not saying you don't work your ass off, but
Yeah.
your opportunities are higher because
There's more
sure.
variety of those
No.
deer though that you're looking for.
Just
yeah,
know.
well, yeah,
Just
I
know.
stopped it. Absolutely, because I mean, like I said, and here in Michigan, let's say, on a normal season, you're chasing one deer over 130 inches or whatever. versus you go out of state and you might have 4 or 5 or 3 or whatever it may be, over 130 inches. So obviously your odds are going to be greater out of state. But, you know, it don't matter. I'm gonna work just as hard out of state as it is here in Michigan. It doesn't matter.
for sure.
It don't matter. I'm gonna shoot 160 anywhere you go, right?
Typical.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I got the same mentality. It doesn't. But it was kind of funny because I don't know. It probably was almost 5 years ago now. I heard someone that said you pull someone out that's consistent in Michigan, you put them in any other state, and they will be just as good. And I'm not.
You're living proof of that.
No, but
No, you are.
But
Yeah.
you know,
No,
I'm not-
you can be modest if you want, but like that, you're
Yeah.
living proof of that. Like
Yeah.
literally, you of all people are one person that I know that like consistently. I don't care what state I put you in, you're gonna kill one of the biggest deer in the area.
You're gonna get them.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the biggest deer in the
no,
area.
one
but-
of the
I-
biggest deer
I'll-
in the area.
If you
You
don't
are.
get them, you're at least on them.
Oh,
I can
take-
I can rip the headset off your head and just say you're done. I mean, I'm just telling you.
We
That's
could
what I.
slap you in the Walmart parking lot in the middle of Tennessee, and you're gonna be on them.
No, I mean, I don't know. I work my ass off. I do what I can, and
You
I don't
piss
know.
excellence every day when you wake up, and
No one
just
can
need to
hang with
admit
your stuff. You're just a big,
Yeah.
hairy American winning machine.
screw all you guys. You know, no, I don't know.
we gotta give you shit.
I'm just gonna go hunt. Is all it all boils down to.
Nick just likes to hunt.
Yeah, you put me out. You put me out in the woods. I'm gonna go hunt. Is what it is. I mean,
I'm gonna hunt.
I'm gonna put the work in.
Well, if
and
you're
do
gonna
what
go
I can.
hunt, I'm gonna rattle through some of these Instagram posts here. So, let's see what we got here. I'm just gonna rattle through a couple of these, kind of give some shout outs here. So, Kevin Gartside, I probably butchered the hell out of that. Too long of gun season and the muzzleloader season that went till January 1st on public land. So then the next one we got Jay Benelli 16. The gun season is too long. Length of gun season and timing of gun season. Okay, so that's an ongoing
Yeah,
thing.
I want to make
Okay,
a comment
so-
on that. The,
Yeah,
Okay,
I want to
let's
make
go.
a-
At it.
Yeah.
the muzzleloader season now is not muzzleloader
was
season.
gonna say,
Whose
yeah.
ever idea was that? Like,
It's
what
a
in the heck was going
it's
on?
a second gun season. I don't know if it's the same by you.
Is
where
it
you're
still
at.
called
No, it
muzzleloader
is.
season?
I
By the
can-
way?
It's called
use a
muzzleloader
rifle.
season,
Yeah.
but you don't need to use a
You
muzzleloader.
use any gun
it's
you
not.
want.
It's
I
not
can
muzzleloaders.
use a rifle in where I'm at.
So why
But
is
it's
it?
muzzleloader
So why is it
season
called muzzleloader season?
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
it's
second gun
because-
season is what it is now. It's not a muzzleloader
so
season.
because of
basically-
that quote unquote CWD.
But that's only in
you
the
know.
southern part of the Lower Peninsula, right? I think.
It's just in
I
those.
can't remember. I can't
It's in the
remember
CWD areas and the areas that are touching the CWD hotspots.
Okay.
Yeah.
From my understanding, you know, somebody can write in and quote on that too if I'm wrong. But that's the way I took it. Like,
Yeah.
if you're in a hotspot of CWD, then you can shoot your rifle with muzzleloaders. And if I'm in a county adjoining, touching your county, even if I'm not a hotspot, I can use a rifle.
Yeah,
I thought
That's
COVID
the
did
way
away
I
with
took
all
it
that.
That's bullshit.
It logically doesn't make any sense.
No,
like you
I
can't.
agree.
No one
Hey.
can convince me that makes sense. We have
Yeah.
a muzzleloader, and then we can use a rifle in it.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
it's
I could
literally
be
second gun
completely
season.
wrong on that. Please, someone call me
For
out. if
sure,
I'm wrong
I
on
would
that.
love to
So-
be educated on that because
Yes.
I honestly am not. Someone might be
don't-
like, "Hey, here's why."
But
I don't know
think
why.
you're-
I don't
think
feel like
you're
we had a
actually
ton of
100%
participation
correct,
on
is the
it,
problem.
really.
No, we didn't.
Luckily,
I
but
think you're 100%
the
correct.
fact that you can
I-
do that is kind of ridiculous.
I know. Well, I think what happened was, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, they proposed a longer gun season in Michigan. They were even having talks of it starting November 1st, which was terrifying. It freaked everyone out, and I
geez.
truly believe that people vetoed it. So then they changed muzzleloader season to gun season. So they essentially got their way just in a different manner.
They
That's
just moved
how
it
I.
around.
That's how I feel. That might not be the truth. But that's just how I feel.
The thing is, I think that the gun hunting in Michigan is so prominent that if they wanted to change the season to November 1st, it would happen because I feel like the gun season's so, like I said, so prominent that the revenue would be there.
It would.
Like, people would be like, oh, yeah, November 1st?
Sweet.
That is
Hell
serious.
yeah.
Oh
Sweet.
god, yeah.
And
they
that
love
does
it.
gun.
nothing for our herd.
I know.
No.
Nothing.
It's gonna hurt it.
Decimated.
There you go.
You know what I
See,
mean?
bye-bye is basically what it goes to.
Exactly.
Yep. You think about Missouri. That's what Missouri complains about more than anything under the sun. Is they literally put the gun season right in the dead crack of the rut.
Yeah,
100%.
most of their
Even-
residents complain that, hey, we could be Iowa
Yep.
if
we
changed the
did
gun
this.
season.
Yeah.
Yep.
And honestly, I think, you know, for Michigan and around me and a lot of families I know and the people that I know, you know, a lot of people come back for Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Thanksgiving
for
deer
sure.
on the family.
Yep.
Okay, let's start gun season Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving. Everybody, there's usually a long weekend involved.
Right.
People have time off of work.
The day
it's a
after
longer
Thanksgiving.
weekend. Yes,
Ohio.
open our gun season.
Bingo.
Ohio.
Do it.
The Monday after Thanksgiving. Always the first Monday after Thanksgiving is what it boils
Kansas
down
is always usually around that first week of December.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Like, in Illinois is the same way. They're kind of later November. I don't know if they land on a certain day or not, but it's later November, like around that
Yeah.
Thanksgiving time. Like, I think with the tradition of Thanksgiving, obviously, and where I'm at in Michigan, I don't know, I can't speak for you guys, but like people come back home for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do deer drives, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
you want to do, do it around or do it around Thanksgiving. That's what I say.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. It's almost sad right now the way the gun season happens. It happens basically at the peak of the rut, and we have nearly 1 million hunters in the woods with guns. These deer don't stand a chance.
No.
They don't. It's sad.
And like we talked about earlier, think about the parcel size and think about the amount of hunters. So let's say like 100 acres is broken up how many times? There's 100 every single parcel. A deer runs across how many hunters? It's not like
He's getting
Iowa
shot.
and Missouri. They run
Oh,
across
yeah.
one parcel.
And the majority of our hunters here aren't really managing for.
They're not.
for
They got two
larger-
buck tags in their pocket. They're going to shoot whatever the heck they want.
It doesn't matter if it's a spike, and if you're happy with that,
The more,
whatever. I guess cool. I'm happy for you, but I mean,
You could literally shoot at a deer here November 15th, and he can run 200 yards and probably almost get shot at 2 other times in that time frame. It's
Yeah,
the sad
oh, yeah.
part.
That's pretty accurate.
No, that
I
is
know, I was
really
talking to a guy
accurate,
the other
actually.
That's the sad part about it all. Like I said, just relating to back to Tyler's like small parcel. I mean, you got 20 acres. That deer could run 200 yards, and would it be shot at 3
sure.
different times?
I-
At 200 yards range.
I was talking to a guy the other day that shot a buck this year during shotgun season, killed it. Cleaning his deer out, he found 2 different broadheads, 2 different styles of broadheads in this deer,
Oh yeah.
probably from 2 different people.
For sure.
I mean,
No. All my deer, I've actually I'm guilty. I'm guilty for the one deer I'm after right now. I'm guilty of it too. I shot him the first year. Didn't kill him. He was there this year, and the other buck I chased, the neighbors shot him, and it is what it is. I mean, and I actually have 600 acres where I hunt, so it's like that's basically a mile by mile block is what it boils down to. But even still, I got neighbors putting arrows in them or shooting them, or even myself or whatever it may be. And then you start breaking it down to 20 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, which is a majority of Michigan.
and that's where I feel like the 1 buck rule may be our only chance at getting, a good age class of bucks is because we have so many hunters.
Oh yeah,
what else do you do?
yeah.
Well, and that's like John Eberhart. You guys know of John Eberhart, and he's a kind of a legend in the Michigan world, woods, but he even said a vast majority of his book bucks that he shot have had previous wounds on them.
Oh, yeah.
And from Michigan.
Yep.
They either got a broadhead in them or a gun wound or
Oh
something.
yeah,
so it's like,
I've had a couple.
but
for
honestly,
sure.
I mean, I've killed some pretty good bucks, not as many as John's killed, but like even if I go to the fact of like the deer that I've killed, the majority of the deer that I've killed in Michigan, like I can't speak for the same. Like I haven't killed, that many deer that have had wounds like that.
Okay.
That have had previous wounds. That I've killed some pretty good bucks. Like I said, not as many as John, but they haven't had previous wounds. I can't honestly remember the last time I killed a buck that had a previous wound in Michigan. Would have been when I was like 14 with a gun. Yeah, and he came in opening day rifle season. He was a 7-point, not a big deer, but come in his little basket rack, and he had 3 legs. And I think he got shot that morning. He had 4 legs, but the third one or the fourth one was
That was
not
like half a
really
leg,
functioning the way it should have been functioning.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like a mercy kill. My dad and my dad's like, you need to kill that deer. And
I've had them. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so.
No,
But-
I mean,
Yes, I'm gonna go back to Instagram here. Let's keep
Yeah,
this
let's
train
keep
rolling.
going.
So,
Jordan Gensmer. Sorry if I slotted your name again. He says, not from Michigan, but interested to listen to this one. I appreciate your support, Jordan.
Sorry,
thank you
break
very
his
much.
hopes on that one.
Kurt Gross. More antler restrictions and maybe a draw or shoot a doe first for a second buck tag. Okay.
So we covered the doe one.
Yeah.
Everything on those.
Antler
I
point
kind
would
of
be
like
sweet.
that. Kind of like that.
APRs would be nice, but at the same point, too.
And honestly,
It only
to
do so.
quickly brush on that, like the property that I grew up hunting, my family farm, we've always had an antler point restriction, and it's never been mandated by the state. It was always like what we did as a camp. So
Yes.
the first buck of your quote unquote career or hunting, whatever you want to call it,
Free
could be
pass.
whatever you want.
Free pass.
You know, I killed a 6-point, 4 on one side, 2 on the other, my first buck ever.
Yep.
And then our rule has always been 4 on one side or 8 points or better. That's
Yep.
always been the rule.
Yep.
I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's been working for us. We've been killing pretty good deer, I would say.
That's good different. That's good, this goes back to the area. That's good different area to area.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some counties in Michigan that have that antler point restriction, and up north it's like 3 points on one side, doesn't matter. Our
Yep.
second tag, no matter what, is 4 points on one side, type of deal. But I mean, literally, honestly, like down by me, just down by me is you can kill a near half full deer with 4 points on one side all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. I mean, there's, that's the big thing behind it is that they're trying to protect the younger deer with it, which anything would be better than nothing at this point, to be 100% honest with you. But still, I mean, for me to see a 7 or an 8 point, a year and a half old deer, that's on daily regular for
Yeah.
me, to be 100% honest.
the Northwest 12 where they implemented the 4 on a side.
Yeah.
How many years ago now? And I mean, they're killing some big
Oh
deer
yeah,
up there.
they are definitely
It
definitely
works.
stepped up.
It worked.
It works.
Absolutely
So
worked.
like my old man, he hunted up by that's kind of we got some really good family friends that grew up, or, moved up to Manistee when I was growing up. We went up there for the youth hunt. That's where I'd go for the youth hunt up there. And my one buddy killed like a 11 point, and at that time we're like, oh my god, this is biggest
Giant.
deer you're ever gonna kill
Yeah.
in your life, and everything along those lines. And like nowadays, like I said, this year my old man, he killed more deer up there than he did up back home. I mean, he killed one deer down here, and then all the rest of them were up at his buddies up there around the Manistee County area or whatever. And he saw some actually really good deer, which they have the antler point restriction up there, and they have the limited doe quota and everything along those lines for the last few years. I think this year they're a little bit lenient on it, but it actually made a big difference up there.
It did.
And good for them.
And that's
good
up
for them.
for anybody that doesn't really.
Oh, we're just hitting the pause on the podcast. We're coming back in the podcast land over here. They say,
Wait, so are we still recording or not?
Oh yeah, we're still going. Just run with it.
But for anybody that doesn't know where you're talking there in the Northwest 12, that's up in the middle of the big woods. There's no agriculture.
Oh, yeah,
hardly
there's-
at all. I mean, the
Hardly. I mean, there is, but there isn't. I mean, that's where you start getting. That's like at the
it's all
borderline.
sand.
Yeah,
There's no nutrition really in anything these deer are eating. So for them to be killing 130, 140 inch deer,
Oh, yeah,
is
that's
really
saying
saying
something.
something.
Age structure.
So what if they implemented that down here in southern Michigan that is
Exactly.
more similar to the Midwest? The crop fields,
Good soil.
good soil.
Good crops.
Yeah.
I mean, we would probably be killing some smashers down here.
For
which
sure.
I mean,
we get a few. Like,
I mean, look
Nick,
at you guys.
you
You guys literally only live less than like an hour to 45 minutes from me, and the structure of deer that I'm killing down by me compared to you guys is a whole ordeal.
this is kind of
difference.
like the line. I feel
Yeah.
like about 30 miles right here. This area is
Yeah.
the line from northern to southern, where you see a difference in the deer.
Yep. No, well, you guys just start hitting that sandy soil right about here. Is what
For
I
sure.
really feel is like.
My farm is 100% sand.
Yeah.
Like beach
oh yeah.
sand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And same with Matt. Matt can, at his place,
Oh,
everything
yeah.
like that.
Same stuff.
You
And
can't grow
it's-
stuff sometimes, you know.
In all honesty, you can't control the deer's nutrition through one food plot.
Oh, absolutely
No.
not.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I mean,
So
they eat on so many different things.
That's it.
What do they say? Like 70% of a deer's diet is off like natural browse
woody
or
browse.
everything
You know,
like that.
what's the
Like-
protein levels in it? You could go for hours on just this on what they're
Yeah.
eating, but you know the protein they're taking in through, you know, I don't know if they're walking around eating just random
Even
greens
even
from the woods.
just
I mean,
like
the
like
protein levels,
but just like like
tree buds.
yeah, tree buds exactly. I mean, just the protein that they're gaining off of that is just it's stupid.
And a lot of it too is, you know, in northern Michigan the winters are so much harder too.
Absolutely.
They're up in the snow belt where they might have, you know, feet of snow every year, where we might, what do we have right now, 8 to 12 inches of snow on the ground, and here we are, it's February, first
Yeah.
week of February. I mean, up there, these deer are living in cedar swamps, eating cedar trees right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like stressing themselves out. They're using all their fat reserves and stuff. But down here, they're still mowing on. You know, there's all kinds of food for them.
I mean, if we walked out the back door, if we were able to, we walked out the back door right now. We
Yeah.
kill a deer here versus but down by me. I bet you like you measure the fat density on the two, and then it'd be like a world of difference just between the two. Just because of the survival rate, like we got all down there, we got all the big lands, big crops, everything like that, and them deer, they're getting the protein, they're getting
Right.
the carbs, they're getting everything like that. Versus here, I
Well,
mean,
then you go even further, like the,
Oh,
upper,
yeah.
the upper peninsula, and you hear
Oh,
about
yeah.
the winter kill. Winter kill is the thing
Yeah.
up there. Like, they get enough snow to where deer just die.
yeah, oh yeah,
They can't eat.
100%. Even still, even down by me, we like I said, we get all those nutrition and everything like that. We get and I'll go out there shed hunting, and I cover some serious ground. I remember the one property. Literally, I walked the one property, and it was like almost like $7. I think I ended up finding the 1 year, and I'm like, holy cow! Like, it's just like I'm like, what happened this year? And I mean, we had a good winter that year. I mean, we'll all admit that the winters are getting less and less from what they used to
Yeah.
be back in the day. I mean, we used to be out there in kids, and we'd be like 2 foot of snow.
Snow
and
days,
everything.
Michigan snow days
Yeah.
for school, like for a week.
Yeah, and nowadays you're like, 3 inches of snow. Woo!
they canceled school today for an inch of snow. So
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly. I mean, it's a big difference, but I mean, even still, it's.
I think
Well,
that plays
it
a
doesn't
role
matter.
too in a lot of these Midwestern states that are putting, tons of deer in the book every year. That they don't really have a lot of the winter. Wisconsin is a really good state. They get a lot of trophy deer up there.
Yeah.
But the winters we have kind of, I'm sure, playing a role in our antler growth the next year.
Well, put it
Oh,
this
yeah.
way too, like this might not be a really fair comparison, but where Casey and I went this year in Nebraska hunting, and we killed a good deer with that new Winchester 6.8 Western. They put up a post today they're on the Platte River, and they have no snow there right now.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? And
Wow.
it's like that. Usually, I thought like those Western kind of states like Nebraska for sure usually has.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got quite a bit of snow
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. Not a ton where we're at, but like, I mean, I've been snowmobiling just about every night.
Yeah,
and it's been enough snow, and it's
We got a brutal week ahead of us right now too.
It's
it's
Low
gonna be
teens.
cold.
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is the worst time for a deer too.
Yeah.
Kind of towards the end of winter here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
February is going to be a bad time.
This
Yeah.
is why I'm excited. I planted so many beans this year. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I got like tons of beans like everywhere. I don't care if they're up in my backyard. At least the deer have food to eat.
Exactly.
Beans are the
Yeah,
magical fruit.
That's it, dude.
Oh, that's just something you're doing that helps, the deer herd.
I'm
You
not
know,
killing deer back here. Like, I'm gonna hunt it every single year. Like, I might kill one deer every 3 years back here if I'm lucky, or even
Yep.
it doesn't even matter. I'm just improving the herd. I'm getting
Right.
nothing back. Like,
And dude, that's what
But you
bums
kill
me
a
out
good-
so much about the no baiting rule in Michigan
Yeah.
now too. Is not necessarily that I wanted to hunt over bait. I did occasionally, but I can't winter feed deer anymore.
that's it. That's all I'm concerned about.
I mean, that was-
I wanted to feed after season.
Yeah,
That's it.
I
That's
would
all
go buy
wanted to do.
30 cutting
and
off
mineral
alpha bales.
before season.
For
you know
Yeah,
what I
sure.
all that
mean?
stuff
Like-
that-
Spend my
helps these
hard-earned
deer.
money to help the deer. That's
Yeah.
it.
And you can't do it now.
I don't want to benefit and hunt over a bait pile. I have no intentions on doing that.
But it's okay if you do though too.
Yeah,
like
I know.
I covered that. Like
Yeah.
You and
Oh,
I
yeah.
covered that on your podcast or the podcast we just
Oh,
did
yeah.
with you and
Yeah.
and it's like that's a tool. Like I've killed some good bucks over bait.
For sure.
Not gonna lie to you. When
yeah,
we
there's
could
noth-
bait,
there's
I'm
nothing
not
wrong
doing
with
it
it.
It's legal,
illegal.
man.
That's
you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same point too, one, we're getting pitches off it. 2, we're benefiting the deer, giving them the minerals and everything along those lines. 3, now we get in the late season, we're helping them deer push through this late season grind. You know, it's like there's. I mean, like I said, I'm not the first person that's gonna be like, oh, here's 1,200 pounds of corn. I'm gonna come kill you over. I mean, Grant, that's what I did. I'm not gonna lie about it, and I have killed deer over bait or anything along those lines. But at the same point too, you know, all we're doing is we're just helping those deer along the way. It doesn't matter.
And not everybody has access to tractors, you know, where they can go put in a 5-acre food plot to help the deer through the winter. So, you know, especially in northern Michigan, like we've been talking, you know, buying a couple round bales and just plopping them out on their property used to be a great way to get your deer through the winter.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we you know, for the most part, like I said, our winters have been a little bit more lenient lately, but we still do get those weeks where, you know, we're coming into one. That's where it's gonna be a hard week on them animals. And that buck I just killed there in Ohio, well, that's 2 weeks ago now. He had 0 fat on him. Comes into a week like what we're about ready to come into.
He was a 2-year-old, that's why.
You know, but you know, it's like you said, you come into a week like what we're about ready to come into. We're talking negatives and single digits and wind chills and everything along those lines. You put deer with 0 fat on him, and you put him in that weather. That's like my 100, you know, whatever pound ass going out there.
140 pounds.
You know, I'm gonna go stand out there in the winter in this shit like. No, I'm getting put on some insulation in my fat or whatever, you know. You put deer on that situation, hey, survive.
Yeah.
You know, it's just them suckers have been running nonstop for months, wearing themselves down, no fat, and you're like, yep, go ahead and just, you know, survive on -2 degree or -4 degree weather nights, or, you know, 17 degree days with 30-mile-an-hour ones. Good luck. No. Like I want to fan that son of a bitch up to where he survives the next year.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting back to Instagram here. Oh well, hit a button here. Andy Lockhart won. Andy's a good follower of the Fall Podcast, and thank you very much, Andy, for your follow, man. I appreciate all the support. He says 1 buck rule, shorten the firearm season. Push rifles opener back or date back. Yeah, we've kind of touched on that.
It seems like everybody's saying the same.
Yeah, across the board.
Yeah.
Here we go. Josh Tanner 73 says 1 buck across all seasons and call in, check in. So yeah, definitely. Yes. I mean, we talk about that for sure.
I'd love the call in or whatever it is. Just check in every single deer, checking in.
For sure.
Can we get the DNR on this podcast? I mean, there's a trend here right
now. We should get him on. Rooster JB, one of my close friends, boss of mine. I think they need to extend the Muppet hunting season through March, he says.
What's a Muppet?
Muppet is short for effing fucking season. He just says they need to extend it through March.
I think we go clear into July.
Hey, I have done the compromise stuff, and that's actually a good time, and it does benefit certain areas where it does benefit the crop farmers.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I agree. Tom Taylor 83 responded, mandatory kill/tag reporting and 1 buck tag thoughts. Yeah, we covered that. Smoking Swamp Donkeys 45 says needs to have statewide APRs, 1 buck tag. So yeah, we kind of brush on both of those.
Yeah, we've touched on
sweet username.
Yeah,
I dig it.
I liked it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of thought.
That was cooler than the comment.
Yep. White Gold Gabe, what's going on, buddy? Gabe, you are known from all 4 of us here. He said supplemental feeding, of course.
I wonder why.
Yep. No, he says supplemental feedting. We
but that stuff
agree
works.
100%. And then he says opening day moved to the 3rd Saturday of November. We agree 100%.
Everybody's on the same page.
Everybody's on the same page except for DNR for some reason.
Now, we don't have the mass in here either. But,
True.
I mean, yeah, we're talking about the diehards here. So let's keep going here. Let's see. Amelia McCrate says farmers being able to kill does too early, leaving fawns to starve. So I think she's kind of saying like the farmers that have the block tags that kind of like kill deer. So like, what's your take on that?
Okay, so I've done it. I've had farmers that have had the block permits, and I've went out there and I've done it. I've shot deer in July. My take on it is I was trying to kill the ones that didn't have the fawns, because you're looking at that earlier stages. That's basically like, you relate to, your real human beings. It's like basically like breastfeeding, and then also next thing you know, just pulling them off in the first month.
I don't think you're talking about breastfeeding in here. I think we just took a turn here.
Well, I'm just being realistic. It's type. Same type of scenario and everything along those lines. And obviously, when I was out there, I was trying to kill the does that didn't have the doe fawns with them, because I know there's a certain time frame that they got to go with them. We've even been deer season where I've seen deer, or fawns going up and hitting the does and everything along those lines. But that's my take on it. Yes, absolutely, there is a time and a place and everything along those lines where it does come into a factor. We need to do deer herd management is what we're here for. That's why we're people, we're hunters, we're conservationists. There's a time and a place. That's basically what it boils down to, is time and place.
Tyler, what's your thoughts on it?
Agreed on
block permits.
Same. If you're going to do it, it probably needs to be, you agree with shooting does. You're the number one guy in the world to say, hey, we need to shoot does.
Yep.
And if the farmer has block permits, then he has reasons to shoot does. There's clearly too many. So I agree with it, and I would agree that, try to shoot the ones that don't have fawns. I'm not that educated in that point, but,
I agree. No, I agree 100%. But I do know farmers. I'm not going to name names, but I do know farmers that will shoot deer and just let them lay.
Yeah,
for sure. Block permits. Because and I don't want to say I get it, but I get it. I understand. That is your money,
right?
I get
sure. I understand that's your income, but
at the same point,
let one of us come out there, or one of us like us come out there and actually going to benefit from that deer.
Definitely.
And take the meat and not just let it lay there.
Definitely.
And donate the meat, or if you're gonna shoot it, donate the meat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And maybe that we need to take that upon us. Like I said earlier, of saying, okay, let's do something here. Let's start something that's okay, you've got X amount of farmers,
right.
Block permits. I'm gonna take this many deer. I'm gonna take them personally to the processor. Let me know when you're gonna kill them. I'm gonna, you tag them.
Yep.
I'm gonna take them to the processor, whatever it is. And we're going to donate this meat to X amount of families. That needs to happen.
That would be awesome.
That's the biggest thing is,
and all those deer need to be registered, though, too. I feel
absolutely.
Absolutely. I like I said before, I don't think any of us are in the right for getting up here on our soapbox saying, this is what we need to do.
No,
but, maybe we need to be a little more proactive. But what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to, shed light more on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
No, like I said, if the farmers can get the block permits, it should all be. One, you're doing it out of state. When I did it, everything was documented. Everything, I literally even had the cops show up. That I was loading these deer in the back of the truck, and the cops showed up and everything along those lines. So it's I got neighbors calling what's this dude shooting out there shooting deer in July? It's whatever it may be, but it's still everything was documented. Everything was 100% legit, and and I actually I cut them deer up. I kept them for myself or anything along those lines. But even say you're saying farm or no name, no calling names out or anything like that, shooting them and leaving them. Why? When you can literally shoot that deer, pick that deer up, drive it to a nearest processor, whatever it may be, and donate it.
You don't have to gut it.
Yeah,
they can gut it. They would do it.
One of my really good friends, they own a very big product processing company around us, and people donate deer. They literally roadkill deer and get them. It's obviously fresh, you know, but,
Yep.
you know, they're getting roadkill deer and donating them and all those, you know, I would actually, it's one question I need to ask them is how many pounds of meat do you guys actually goes to donating for a year? Because I would actually be curious on that because I love donating.
And maybe you can take that information and like help out in a certain way as well, you know.
I mean, you know, we obviously need to keep the population line in check. No, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's going to differ from area to area or property to property, obviously. But
Right. Yep. So that was a good question. So I like that. That's something we've actually never covered on here, so that was good. Next one is C#_10. Says 1 buck tag, earn a buck, shorter firearm season, maybe a velvet archery season.
Ooh, now we're
That's
talking.
a new one.
Now
That's
we're
a new
talking.
one.
Ooh, I would love
What do you
to
think
kill
about early velvet archery season?
Oh, I'd love to kill a velvet deer. Oh, God.
I honestly think that if we had an early archery velvet season, we'd pull in more non-resident hunters.
Oh, yeah.
And that'd be
Definitely.
more revenue.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I also think a lot of big deer would get killed.
Whatever we did have would be gone.
Yes.
I would be tagged down in September every single year. To be
I wouldn't let
honest.
you hunt in Michigan.
The gun
I'd say,
hunters.
Nick, you gotta leave.
I would be tagged out with my number 1 buck in September every single year, to be honest with you. But I would absolutely, that's kind of my bucket list thing right now, so velvet buck. And
Okay.
Matt's got one of those down. I filmed
Yeah.
it. It was sweet.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we ripped the
So
velvet
Nick
off it.
can't talk on this, so
No.
we know what he would do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tyler, what would you do? Velvet season.
I forgot the question.
Do you
I
want
have a
velvet
lot of,
season?
Yes, I want velvet season. That would be awesome. The only thing that's going to be an issue is that the gun hunters that have 2 buck tags aren't going to have any bucks to hunt at that point if
Now-
they have a velvet season.
Right, and at that point, if you have a velvet season, do you say, okay, you still get 1 buck tag? Or
1
do you
buck
say,
tag.
I
One
think you
buck
make
tag.
that an exclusive tag that's
That's
a lot
like
of money.
stupid
like
money.
$500 for a resident.
Yeah.
I will
Or
pay it.
like
I will pay
a
it.
draw.
Yeah,
Like
draw.
or a draw.
A lottery.
A draw. I like that draw.
That'd be money.
See, I'd be okay with Kentucky opens up like around the 1st of September. It's the first Saturday of September that Kentucky opens up, and they run until about
and
January.
you're terrible at that hunt?
Yes, I hate Kentucky. I mean, I love it. I love it, but I hate it at the same point. So, anyways, so they open up like that first Saturday of September, and then they run till about January 15th. But they have 1 buck tag. So I'd be completely fine with us doing that here, because you're only killing that 1 buck. I mean, if you kill that buck in September, guess what? You're done.
You're done.
It
If
doesn't
we
matter.
had 1 buck tag, let's open up Labor
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah,
Every year.
exactly.
I don't care.
You know, it's same thing with like.
Or do you do, like Tyler said, like you do a draw, and you do a draw where it's like certain amount of, so like, you know,
Kinda like-
X county is going to get
There is a
certain amount of tags.
That's
there is a
But
state
this draw,
that does that. I'm pretty sure there's a state that does
so
that. but
I
don't
think
know
I
where.
like that though. Like you do a certain draw, so it pays you. You know, if it's a revenue thing, let's talk about this
you
revenue
apply,
thing.
You apply for it.
You apply, so it's like X amount of dollars to apply for it, and then
Oh,
once you
actually-
get it, it's an X amount for the tag.
for sure.
So you get 1 buck tag, you know, for the early season,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only good for September 1 through 15, let's say.
But
Deal.
And then if you don't kill, that buck tag is void.
That's
It
gone.
is gone.
I say
I
we
agree.
just trade velvet season for rifle season. No more guns.
well,
Just
right,
velvet.
but we're not going to get that. I mean, we're not going to get that.
so here,
No.
like going back to yours, it can take me 2 years to draw this. It can take me 5 years to draw this. It could be once in
Yes.
a lifetime for elk.
Look at me. I got 13 years worth of bear points in
Yeah.
Michigan, and I want to kill a bear. So if anybody's out there listening to this has got bear,
Give the man a bear.
if they got good bear property, I want to kill a bear in Michigan.
Yeah.
I only want one.
That's actually like pretty good. You get a lot of good perspectives on that one.
I want a bear. I want a bear hunt in Michigan.
My girlfriend's grandpa's been applying for elk tag in Michigan for
Yep.
55 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
not
For 55 years.
55 years.
Holy
I've never
shit.
even put in
Yep.
because I just
I
don't
haven't
ever
yet
get it.
either, and I need to start doing
Yep.
it.
No
Yeah.
good luck. No, you'll be the son of a bitch that wins that.
No,
Like,
you.
No, you.
Don't give me that.
First year he applies, he draws and kills a giant.
I've already been put. I'm like, I'm
New
honest.
state record by Nico Healy. Day one, first
With a
hour.
bow.
With a long
in
bow.
gun season.
Yeah,
Left-handed.
yeah.
You
No, I've
son
been,
of a bitch.
I've been putting in for that one. Yeah, that's like literally winning the $1 million lottery. So,
Yeah, you'll probably
Well,
get it
it's only
next year.
once in a lifetime, so once you get it, you're done.
yeah,
Good.
I'm good. We're going to Colorado.
I want to hear somebody's comment that we're gonna strongly disagree with. It's probably unlikely.
Let's get
but
bitter, yeah.
No, I think we're. Let me look here. I think we're getting towards the end. There's a lot of comments. Thank you to everybody out there for, putting these comments in. So
Can I
I
get some
think we
popcorn?
got. We did
Yes.
this
That popcorn.
C# _10. We still did that one. So Ryan TKZ Outdoors, big
sounds
supporter
familiar.
of the podcast.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so he says gun season during peak rut and the use of firearm during muzzleloader. So we've kind of touched on that.
Yeah,
I
bullshit.
honestly think that was a band-aid for the CWD thing. Honestly, I don't agree with it.
No.
I don't agree with it at all. Like I said, if I had my perfect world, I would say rifle season would start around Thanksgiving or later.
Yep.
I kind of like how Illinois does it. How they have don't
Weekends.
quote me on this, but they have 2 or 3 weekends that are 2 or 3 days at a time that are gun seasons.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'd be cool with that.
Right now, technically, we have 25 days that
That's
you can
insane.
you can shoot
No.
a high powered rifle at Whitetails, and I don't agree with that. And it starts November 15th every year.
November
and all
15th
it
till January
is,
1st.
all it is a revenue grab. That's
it.
all it
It's
is.
the wrong graph.
People are probably taking that we're anti-gun.
No,
I'm not
there's
anti-gun.
I'm not anti-gun. I want
am
you guys to
not-
gun hunt. I want
Yes.
everyone to gun hunt. I like gun hunting.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with gun hunting. I just
I'm
think
not
that
scared.
it's just a crazy long season that's
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
blown out of
absolutely.
proportion.
Yep.
That's just how I
Literally.
think it is.
Literally, November 15th till January 1st, to the end of our season, we can hunt with a gun. Doesn't matter if you're killing a buck,
Buck or a doe. Yep.
That's
I mean,
that's
that's
why
how it is.
That's the sole reason why we don't have big bucks to hunt in Michigan, in my opinion, because it's such a long season and
So-
the 2 buck tags. Obviously.
So back in the day when I
When you were what?
like last year,
Back when you only killed 130s.
Actually, I would have been 20 at the time. So so it's 2010 when
You're
when
an asshat.
You can't see it, but I'm actually in the middle. So anyways, back in 2010 was when I killed my first good buck, we call it. And I killed him. I actually killed him during muzzleloader season. So gun season was gun season, and then it's almost seemed like we always had that downfall, or it's always been a 2 or 3 day time frame between gun season and muzzleloader
Yep.
season, but it always felt like you had that chance during muzzleloader season because there's
For
gun
sure.
season to muzzleloader. Not everyone has a muzzleloader, and but then the last few years it's just been okay, well, CWD or you could use whatever you want. I remember I was sitting out there. It was 2 years ago. I was sitting out there during muzzleloader season. It's just gunshot after gunshot after gunshot. I'm like, what the hell? I'd never heard this. Muzzleloader season was always that second little win, that chance or whatever it may be. Quit yawning over there.
You'll get that in those big jobs.
So that's kind of what it boiled down to. But now it's literally a second gun season. So. God damn, you got a fucking rifle or a shotgun or whatever it is. You're out there hunting. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
You're out there doing your deer drives. You got shot after shot after shot versus muzzleloader. You have one shot. So people were like, oh, I only got one shot. I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend the money on the muzzleloader when I got my 870 lined up over there or whatever it may be. Nowadays 450 bolt action semi-auto AR platform. Whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. But
Whoa.
now,
He's going to make a country song here in a second.
That was
but
funny.
it's just that's how.
And I think they're trying to create more opportunity for
No, I agree.
Oh,
people
yeah,
to hunt it,
they
which
are.
is great.
They
It's a
are.
great
yeah,
thing,
there's nothing
but
wrong with that.
I think there's a better approach to it than what they're
Yes,
doing.
absolutely. 100. That's what I was trying to get at. There's nothing wrong with like I said from the get go. If someone wants to go out and shoot a four-corn, and you're jacked up to no other, I will be the first person to give you a beer and shake your hand. I don't give a shit what you kill, but at the same point, there's always a different approach to it all with
There is,
everything.
and-
from a state perspective.
100% not what this is about. Is us all
Yeah.
ganging up on, if you're a gun hunter and you're listening to this isn't
Yeah.
us ganging
No,
up on you.
no,
saying,
absolutely
you're doing
not
it
at
wrong.
all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Get out, enjoy the outdoors, have fun. But
Invite us to your camp. We'll bring bush lattes.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. I'll be like I said.
Nick will bring a little skirt.
Oh God.
If you let him hunt your tree stand, he'll kill 150. I guarantee.
you will attract the 150s.
Even if there's not one in the county, he'll find it.
Yeah.
He'll draw it in.
No, I mean it's not. This has not been us bashing on Michigan or bashing on like
It's just-
people killing or whatever it is. It's just it's all a perspective. All what personal opinion basically is what it boils
sure.
down to.
We have so
But-
much potential here.
Yeah.
that,
There is.
I mean,
There's a lot of
yeah.
potential here in Michigan.
I think
But-
if you could summarize it, we're frustrated. We're
Yeah.
frustrated.
That's what
that
it
it's-
is.
We
It's
just want a
kind
chance
of
at
the
some
same
next year.
shit.
Yeah.
You read the comments, they say the same things. We all say the same things. We say it different ways,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yep.
we're all on the same page.
I
But
shouldn't
the-
have to travel 700 miles or whatever. I guess you could go a little closer to Ohio and stuff.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to travel every weekend to go try to kill
No.
140-inch.
I don't want to spend 5 hours in the car.
I don't want to.
No, I
I'd
don't
rather
either.
support my local economy.
Yeah.
I'd rather go up north and hunt.
Same.
And,
Like, do you want me to pay more? Do you want me to? What do
Support
you want me to do?
local.
I'll do it.
Yep.
I don't want
Yeah.
to travel 5 hours.
But in the same sentence, all four of us, if someone shot a 4-corn spike horn, whatever, 4-point fucking spike horn, whatever it is, we'll be the first one to hand you a beer, shake your hand, and be just as jacked as you are, as long as you're
Oh, dude,
happy
if
for
it,
that
if it got
deal.
your blood
100%.
pumping, like,
Anyone.
Yeah,
more
for
power
sure.
to you.
Any
Yeah.
one of us, that's the best thing about hunting is that everyone has different perspectives. Everyone has that stepping stone or that ladder that they need to climb. But
Well, and dude, the
You
way the
know.
anti-hunters are after us right now,
Yeah.
more than ever, we need to all stick together.
Yeah,
It
oh,
is-
yeah, absolutely.
We're all
you
a
know,
team.
we don't need
here.
to bash each
you
other
know?
over what you shot. This is about, we're hunters. We're all in this. for the
Exactly.
Same reason.
Private land against public land
Yeah.
is not even a thing.
It doesn't matter.
Saddle hunters,
Yeah.
tree stand hunters. It's we're all united. It
For
needs
sure.
to be all one. You know what I mean? In my
Optimistically
opinion.
speaking, I feel like the last couple years, like antler shaming has went down a lot.
I agree.
It's
I feel like it
It's
has.
huge. It's like that's why I feel like so many people just feel like they like shoot a deer and they're just ashamed of it because like, oh, I didn't kill a 150-inch deer or whatever. They just no, fuck that. If you killed a fucking little 4-corn and you send me a picture of it and you're jacked out, you're like, fuck you. You're
Dude,
like,
I'm not gonna
yes,
lie,
I'm gonna be
Yep.
let's have the story. I want to hear about it. Like I'm just so jacked up. Like as long as you're jacked up, I'm gonna be jacked up. Me and Tyler have talked about this 100
You jacked
times.
up a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, exactly. Not Bud Light, but or Busch Light or whatever. But it's the same thing. Like me and Tyler talk about this. Like, oh, if we get a property together, it's like you go shoot 2.5-year-old deer. And
Me and Nick will never butt heads because
Yeah.
we're on the
Yeah,
same page. I mean, same with me and Matt.
yeah.
All of us in this
Yeah,
room are
I
on the same
mean, it's
page,
just-
honestly. But
I've
What-
been there before too, where I get down on myself for shooting a deer that might not be as big as I had hoped or wanted, and it's like he's a good deer, and you get down on yourself because you watch these TV celebrities and they're just dropping smash. They're making it look easy. They're dropping 170
Right.
inch deer left and right, and it's like,
Aaron,
I mean,
No, not left and right.
Just kidding.
Well, you
I
went-
tripped into one.
Well, you went through that scenario this year actually when you killed that one there in Kansas.
I
Like
did.
it was broken off, and I remember you saying there was that like slightest little bit that you were almost down on yourself, and it's like
I
no,
yeah.
fuck that. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
100%. I literally forgot about what I did this for. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, fuck, like, why did I kill that deer? You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? And then I asked myself the question, like, if I would have known he was broke, X amount of
Would you
inches,
shot
whatever it is, would I have shot him? And I'd be like, yeah, he's a mature deer.
No, yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
shot the shit
I
out
got
of
I
it.
got
You
put in
know
the
what I
same
mean?
scenario that
It's-
when I killed my buck in Ohio. I got 2 different calibers of deer at freaking 10 yards apart. I killed one, the other one was bigger, and whatever.
Well,
That's
the one was because you didn't shoot a Garmin sight. That's why.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, we're shooting B3 and they're way better than Garmin.
No, not at all.
If we're going to sponsor gigs here,
No,
you guys
yes.
were all shooting the
I
wrong
just
broad.
like the way he needed his hand on the mic to say what he was about to say.
Yeah.
Excuse
Exactly.
me, we shoot.
No,
No,
but,
you needed a Garmin A1i to kill that big deer. That's what you needed.
But it is what it is. I mean, at the same point too is, people are gonna be like, oh, why didn't you shoot? It's just
Yeah. No.
honestly, whatever makes me happy is what makes me happy. It's different from you to you to you. It doesn't matter. As long as that person's jacked up, I'm gonna be on the same. It boils down to I'm gonna be just as jacked up as you are.
Hell,
So
I would have been
everybody-
happy shooting the possum that walked in on you.
I wish I would have shot that son of a bitch as soon as he showed up.
So everybody that kills, anything from a button buck to a spike to a fork horn, DM Nick Kohili on Instagram.
Yes.
He will drive wherever you're at, and he'll come to see you to shake your hand.
Beer
That's
in
what he'll do.
hand. Beer in
Beer in
hand.
hand, and I'll. I mean,
Yeah.
you better be ready to drink when I show up, though.
If you want to enhance your property, also just invite the guy down.
Let
Just
him
his
hang your
presence-
stands.
His
Yeah.
presence will enhance the shit out of what you got going on.
Oh, God.
Has nothing to do with habitat improvement. It's just Nick
He's
Kohili
just got
placement.
it. Some guys
It's
got
just
it.
where you set him, your property gets better. It's like a big magnet.
Yep, I call him the perfect gnome. Like he'll sit right next to you and just like draw the deer in.
And
No.
I seen this firsthand this year. Set him in my tree stand, and he sees a bunch of bucks. I'm like, bro, I haven't seen bucks out of that stand in years.
No, I think we covered basically all the questions.
How long have we been on this
Yeah, I was
thing?
gonna
I'm
say,
scared to know,
we're at,
to be honest.
2 hours right
I
now.
was gonna
Wow.
say, we're working
Let
up
everyone
on,
know what
we're
time
working
it
up
is.
on the working
It's
class
3
on 3 hours now. You want
3:22 in the morning
Oh,
right now.
gosh.
And just to let you guys know, I bought 2 30 packs of Bush, and I'm pretty sure they're gone.
They're gone.
Oh, we got another 15-pack of Coors that's like empty now at this
That's
point.
that's a lot of beer, to be honest.
Gotta have a
Well,
nightcap.
not since we started recording. We've
Yeah.
been bullshitting all night.
Oh.
and-
Badlands Film
but
Fest.
I don't want you guys to think that the oat sodas and the barley pops have been hindering our thoughts, because this is what we've been talking about forever. I mean,
Oh, it's
honestly,
from the
heart.
like,
For sure.
it's honestly. Honestly, there's more people here than us four. Also, we haven't been drinking all these beers, so
Yeah, no, I
you
know.
know.
I was trying to sound cool, bro.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
let's like if we're gonna wrap this up, let's do like a quick summary from person to person. Like honestly, like what are your couple things? Like real quick, like 30-second summary from person to person. What we would do different, or how we feel about Michigan hunting.
I'll start
Okay.
since it's my podcast.
Yeah,
So I'll start.
Hey, who's the host here?
Oh, okay.
I'll start. First thing is I want registrations. I want deer to be registered. I want to see hard facts of numbers of deer,
For sure.
whatever they are. Like I don't care what they are. I just want to see hard numbers. I want to see what our herd is actually at, because I honestly don't think anybody knows what our herd is at. Really.
No,
So
they don't.
that's rule number one. Second thing is, if I had to change anything, yeah, I want 1 buck, but the thing I want the most is I want opening day of rifle season to be at least at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That's my second thing. Because I know when it gets dark on November 14th, you're fucking pooched.
Screwed.
Like you're done. In my area, I'm done. Like bow season is basically over for me. So that's number 2. Number 3 is I want 1 buck. That is 1, 2, and 3 for me. So that is my thing. So Matt, I'm gonna reverse it and take it to you.
Dude, honestly, I can't steer too far from that path. I think that's it's kind of a broken record. Over and over, you hear the same thing from everybody I talk to. That's it. Everybody wants to see a 1 buck. Everybody wants to see the telecheck. I mean, how are we knowing our numbers? That's the only way.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
And rule number 1, I think our numbers are the biggest thing, I feel like, because if we don't know what our numbers are, we don't know what our herd is at, and we don't know how
Exactly.
healthy that is.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
If we go to a 1 buck, I'm cool with keeping November 15th. I know it's not ideal. That's the peak of the rod. A lot
Right.
of young bucks can get killed, but it comes back to you. If you can kill 1 buck and you want to kill a 4-pointer, hey, I don't care. That's one and done. That's all you get. So I'm cool with whatever. 1 buck, that's what I would like to see. I want to see supplemental feeding come back in the winter.
Okay.
Not necessarily
sure.
baiting,
I
but
like
maybe
that.
a little
Wait,
bit.
hey,
Don't even have to be in
So
season.
would
Right.
you be okay? Yeah, I was gonna say after season, would you be okay? As soon as season's done, you can start feeding again.
Yeah, do it like some of these other states where you
Yeah,
you can feed up to 14 days before season or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I like that.
Yep.
So I'd like to do like what Illinois is, like 3-day shotgun seasons, or not some 2-week-long season.
Yep.
And if they're not going to do that, and they're going to start November 15th, like Matt said, I'd like to see no rifles and muzzleloader season, because that made a huge difference around me.
Difference.
Because I know all my neighbors, and I know none of them have muzzleloaders. And now they can use a rifle, and they know they can use a rifle.
It gets more deer people in the woods though
for
too.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm out there bow hunting, and I've never heard a gunshot in muzzleloader season. And I was hearing gunshots, and they were not muzzleloaders because they keep going off.
The deer don't get a break.
You see what I'm saying? They don't get a break. So it's just like you said, November 15th, you're screwed right there. So a couple different things. That no rifles and muzzleloader, and then if they could shorten that season up, and then also that velvet archery hunt would be free.
I like that little difference over here. I like that. Nick Kohili.
I'm coming at the end of this. God damn. You guys
Yeah,
make
we
You're the one
stole-
that posed the question.
We
I
stole,
know.
we stole all the cool stuff. That's why we went this way.
Yep.
Ooh, all right. So first off is gonna be the guns.
You can't have a Rolodex of shit. We got to go 3 here. What do you got? 3 things.
3.
30 seconds.
The
Go.
gun season.
Go.
The gun season.
Elevator pitch.
Oh yeah, all you fuckers took like a minute, and I get 30 seconds. Gun season. Obviously, I went a short gun season. I mean, from November 15th till January 1st or whatever, the end of our season, literally there's guns going off every single day from that time frame. It's like, nah, screw that. So that's first off. Second off, obviously, yes, it'd be better if we could push the gun season back. Everyone agrees that the $1 tag.
Okay, no, I want hard and facts. What is number 2?
Like, what are the 3 rules or whatever?
3 rules.
Yes.
You
Gun
got
se-
3.
Gun season pushing back. Push gun season back until after. Ohio has the absolute best. Monday after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Most of that time, by the time you hit that time frame, and we're on the latter part of the run at that time frame, to be 100% honest with you.
Yep.
Yes, there's does coming in. Yes, I killed one of my biggest bucks before at the time was that latter part of November, looking for a doe. I mean, there's a very good chance at that end time of November we can still do it. But let's not do it when these bucks are just stupider than a son of a bitch. Let's be honest with you. Like, literally just running around like...
How stupid are they?
let's just throw it out there, to be honest with you. Okay, so
That's number 1.
That was a
number two.
long-ass number
that was
1,
two.
bro.
30 seconds.
That was two.
Holy cow.
Wow.
That was two. And god damn, it'd be nice to open up in September, to be 100%.
That's what I'm saying. You like that idea, don't you?
Oh god,
It doesn't have to be September 1st.
Hey, how much
I'll
would you
go
pay
the
for that
15th.
tag?
No.
How much would you be willing to pay for that tag?
Oh.
Let's be honest.
Be honest. We're going around the board. How
So
for a velvet?
So if
Velvet Michigan September season, how much would you pay for that tag?
So-
It's only $1.
15 days long.
Yep.
So if I kill a buck in that, am I done for the rest of the year
No.
in Michigan?
No.
So basically, that almost like let's say theoretically we end up $1 tag,
Yep.
and then I guess I draw that tag in September.
Yep, it's
so
a draw.
I'd be two buck
Yes.
tags in Michigan.
Yep. How much would you pay for it? Honestly.
$300.
Okay.
See, I'd say 5 all day. That's
500
awesome.
bucks?
To get to hunt in Michigan.
15 days
Oh yeah.
if you draw.
I mean, it sounds insane.
it's not a
but-
guaranteed.
it-
It's
I
not
mean,
a guaranteed.
I'm going to spend $3,000 on a lease to drive out of state, and I can spend $500 and I can hunt a velvet buck in Michigan.
Yep.
Well, how much would it cost me to go to Kentucky? I'm going to spend a few $100
Yep.
bucks plus a lease or an
I get
outfitter.
you.
I'm going to spend thousands. For
Yep.
500 bucks, I can hunt a velvet buck in my own state. Done deal.
But it's a gamble. That's a gamble.
Oh, I don't care. That's worth it.
It is. I'll be honest with you, dude. I haven't killed a buck in Michigan in 4 years now. I ain't buying it.
Okay. No. Okay.
You would buy it.
I'm
You
not
would.
buying it. I'm not.
Wow.
Okay.
Not expected.
Okay.
No.
Not expected.
That is just a weird answer.
That is weird.
Hey,
Skip him.
I'm going to go back to you for a second.
Can't even
Just
look
a
at you
second.
right now.
Just a second. $300. But if you draw it and you don't kill a buck in the 15 days that you got to kill it, you lose all your buck privileges for
Oh my gosh.
Then how is it? Then how is it? Yeah, I know what your answer can be. You're not going to buy a buck
No, I'm,
tag.
not,
so-
I'm gonna say fuck that. I'll wait till the regular season.
Okay.
No, that's scary.
That's
That's what I'm saying. That's a whole different twist.
Oh
on
my
that.
gosh, I don't like those
twist.
odds at all.
that's my deal as a host. That's all I gotta do is
That
twist
is
you.
a twist. That is a big twist.
well,
15 days. You get September
So
1,
either
Wait a
you-
second.
September 1 through September 15th.
So either
if
get-
you don't kill a buck
You're fucked.
and you spend if you draw the tag, you spend $300 like what you said. And you don't kill a buck in there, you can't kill a buck the rest of the year. Are you good with that?
No,
no, I'm not either.
no. I'll wait.
What
for
if it,
October.
okay. What if it's a $15 draw, $15 for you to put in?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if you're gonna draw. Odds or whatever.
Yep.
You draw. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You get to hunt for the first 15 days of season. It's gonna cost you
$15.
$15.
But if I don't kill in that 15
If you don't kill in that 15 days, you're done for the season.
Oh.
I don't think it's
I'll
a
wait-
money
I'll
thing.
wait-
It's
I'll
a,
wait till
it's a
October.
principle.
I enjoy hunting
first
way
of all,
too much to have a 15
You know,
day
you
season.
know how
That's what I'm here for. I'm
Yeah.
just
you know
trying
how,
to get the.
you know what it is. The more time you put in the woods, the better odds you are that you're gonna kill.
Yep.
And I mean, granted, I mean, God knows, I couldn't even tell you how many years this would go back. Literally, you give me 15 days in September for I don't even know how many years. Odds are my number one buck would probably be dead. But
Every year.
you're giving me 15 days versus a month and a half. That's I got 15 days to get it done.
But we know you're going to get it done.
I'm gonna go out of state, and I'm gonna put those 15 days on a lottery out of state to try to get done. Like when I go to Wyoming.
But tell me this though. Tell me this. I'm going to play devil's advocate
Okay.
here. How many days do you put in Kentucky?
Oh God.
For how much money? For
Kentucky?
a velvet deer.
Yeah, see, that was my
That's
point.
a double-edged sword.
No. How many days do you put in Kentucky
What's a weekend in Kentucky
for a
cost?
velvet deer? How many days do you put in Kentucky for a velvet deer?
Oh, in Kentucky for a velvet deer,
Yes.
probably at most it'd probably be 4 days for me. For me,
How much you paying for that tag?
I think that was like 250.
'Kay.
No,
There
I
you
might
go.
I might be wrong, but about $250.
So
if I
I'm
remember.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
but
But
I can hunt the rest of the season.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. That's why I'm here. I'm here to ask the big questions.
And I hunted from September 1st until fucking January 5th.
And you didn't kill. Nick's only hunting Kentucky for the rest of the year.
And I didn't kill a goddamn thing.
So
So
that's good. Did we not cover anything that we wanted to cover?
I think we covered a
No,
lot.
We covered a lot.
A lot.
That was good. That was actually a really good one.
Yeah.
That was,
And I
that
asked
was
you
cool.
about the question. You're like, I plan on recording with you guys tonight. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
I feel like I just kind of forced my way into this. I don't know if this
No.
was supposed to be like a
Yeah.
rise
No.
thing, but
No,
No.
not at all, dude.
You didn't force your way
No,
in there at all.
it was a Michigan. It was a
a
Michigan-based ordeal, is what it was.
And that's what we are.
And I mean, you're just as close as any of
I was
us.
just down there drinking beer, and you guys were like, "Hey,
I mean, it was
you
you,
want to go over
you
and
were
record?"
my dog Yami. We're gonna put
Yeah.
the headphones on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
So, lastly, I want everybody to kind of plug everything. Matt, plug the Rec Broadheads. So, plug, Rec Broadheads, where they can find them, where they can learn more about them, everything. Go ahead.
Wreck Broadheads, I think everybody can agree, are the best broadheads on the planet. You guys can find them at www.recbroadheads.com. We're still on Instagram, rec_broadheads.
As of right now.
As of right now.
As recorded
Must
tomorrow
be
might be a
nice.
different story. We're on Facebook. Check us out.
Yep. Tyler,
For sure, man. Since our Rise Hunt page is down,
on IG.
on
You're
IG,
still on
we're still on
Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook.
we're
Yeah,
still
you
on
can find us
Facebook,
the Rise _hunt. You can find us
YouTube,
on
all that
YouTube.
stuff.
You can find us on Facebook, that type of stuff.
Yep.
So
Good deal. Nick, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. So,
I was gonna say, you might as well. I mean, if you want to listen to me, you might as well
Yeah.
listen
Yeah.
to Tyler.
Sure,
That's
sure.
pretty much the same ordeal.
Sure.
Blah 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 blah. Yours, your Fall
No,
Hunt
yeah.
podcast.
I'm gonna end this here. I appreciate everybody listening and all the support. Thank you very much for all this. This one was a little different. A lot of beers in us, but this was from the heart.
No,
yeah,
sure,
sure.
100%.
Honestly, I don't think my judgment was clouded by anything.
No.
With alcohol, any
No.
of that.
No.
We just had a good time. couple buddies talking and bullshitting and talking about something we're passionate about.
Literally,
So
even all the questions you had, they were all on point with all
Yeah.
our responses anyway.
we're
So,
all right
Everybody's
there.
right there.
Yeah.
You know, so all the passionate people, we're right there. And honestly, it's not us just sitting up here on a mountain just screaming, you need to do what we're doing. That's not what we're trying to get across here. We're trying to get across that we're passionate about this. We're passionate about our deer herd, and we're passionate about the thing that we love to do is hunt. You know what I mean? And we're not just out there beating our chest saying we're trying to kill deer. That's not what we're doing.
Absolutely
So
not.
we need to do better as us four. I'm pointing the finger at all of us in this room right now. Us four, with the platforms we have, we need to do better of being in the front lines of doing, and putting the right foot forward first. So I'm gonna end it with that. Thank you guys very much. We're gonna cut this loose and have a good evening.
All right, there you have it. Another great episode. Love having those guys on. Thank you to Nick, Tyler, and Matt for coming on and doing this. Had a lot of fun doing that. So hopefully we covered everything you wanted to hear. And if there's more stuff that you guys want to hear, a lot of you guys Michigan hunters out there and you want to hear some more, send some stuff in. We'll talk about it and we'll cover it. I think it'd be pretty cool to dive deep in. And I think we did on this one as well. And a lot of people that are not from Michigan probably really don't care. But I'm pretty passionate about Michigan. Obviously, I was born and raised here, so I still do a lot of hunting here, and I love it. But on the other side, there are some things I want to change. So lastly, I do want to say, go to iTunes, leave a 5-star rating, leave a review. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, as always, for all the support and everything, all the downloads on the podcast. It's much appreciated. And don't forget, we'll be back here next week on the Fall Podcast. Thanks, guys.